Okay, cool beans. We're recording.
Weebo.
We are live. Sorry, there was a pause there because I had to suck in a chuckle because we were getting about to record. We were gently razzing Dallas about his response rate, which is true. You did respond eventually, just at almost the last possible moment. Anyway, this is Rain, number 72, I think.
That's divisible by
Yes.
9.
It's two or three.
We've been doing this for
Of the
almost 2 years.
73 is not divisible by 9.
No,
It has been a
73
while
a
since
prime?
Nice.
it has been a little bit since Nice. And yes, we have been technically off and on, but we've been doing this campaign for a little bit. And we will continue to do so. First, just going to try and jump into Rain recap, but no. First, we recap the patrons who help make this sort of thing possible by keeping me fed, therefore keeping me alive to write more games. So, shout out to our patrons like Anatar Blex to G, Kami Zed, Carlos Dragon, Jade Anthesing, Rise of Kenji, Rogaman, and Sharvor. Which support. Yeah. Thank you very much for your support, all of our patrons and listeners. We continue with your regularly scheduled Rain.
Yeah.
Do the corporate broadcasting station outro there. So it's Rain. It falls mainly on the plane. But it does not
The plains of
in
Maine.
Spain, because there's no Spain. It's not real. Maine is also not correct.
True.
Oh. Yay.
Roar
Hey.
Well, he's
Dallas.
really letting down. Okay, all right. Let's
All right.
let's speed through my end so we can get to,
No, I can,
Nicola's
I
stuff
can
before
make
he
it.
dies.
I can make it. I can make it.
He says 3, 5, 2. Fuck it, go.
So it is technically still the day of the finale of the fencing tournament. Because after some very, not really drawn out, but some decently tense and lengthy rounds of fencing, Konrad has won the journeyman bracket. He probably has a cool little plaque or trophy, maybe some sort of medal.
I don't know.
Maybe
Konrad
it's
would have
made
been
of
the one to
something
make
like
it.
gold. That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Konrad, what did you make? Are you thinking medals,
I mean, I
pins,
believe
plaques?
the plan was for the winners of each bracket to be able to requisition a weapon made of Logi steel.
Now you have to make yourself yet another new sword.
Yeah.
We just
Um,
don't.
Honestly, thinking about that, that's a curious one because we said that I believe I randomly determined that Paloma won the apprentice bracket. I don't know if she needs a new weapon. Actually, technically she does, or did, but she already got it back from Inos because he fixed her original one. Maybe she'll ask for a new rapier anyway. But wow, you worked fast with that, Loth. But Konrad won. He has received the award for which he laid out for himself, and also as a separate thing proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
Yay.
But there is still the Masters bracket left, which obviously the Journeyman one was pretty nail biting at a few points, but this one, has everybody guaranteed to be on the edge of their seats.
Yes.
I assume at least that most of you, the player characters, are going to stick around to watch the Masters bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, in my random order that I've determined this, your first match is Rodrigo Espada versus Moira Dijon.
Yep.
We will not be randomly determining these because I don't want to be rolling against myself all the time. Moira will advance. It's pretty close. Rodrigo, gets a couple of hits in, but Moira is really, really good at this. like I said, similar to the exhibition, Rodrigo doesn't get a coat thrown over his head. So not that anybody but you guys know that, but he actually is able to display some fencing, but is tabbed out after a few exchanges. Next, we have an interesting one. Javaira Eliklan and Nictimo Rearmouse. Nictimo is Noctiluca's father, Lord Rearmouse. And Javaira Eliklan is the head of your... guest security detachment. The small collection of Iron Demon warriors who came to kind of show off with the hopeful appointment of a Iron Demon ambassador. That's the word I'm looking for. So she is wielding hook-bladed swords. They are blunted still for sparring. As I'm sure that there is some sort of method the Iron Demons use when they need to practice and don't want to end up, cutting anybody too badly.
Too badly.
You just have to have the correct weight. Nictimo Rearmouse is similar to his children, dueling in the Southern style, rapier and parrying dagger. And this one is also close, but Lord Nictimo ends up winning out, scoring just enough points to get through. If you want a tactical analysis of how that goes, it's probably because for similar reasons to why Inos decided not to enter the tournament, not being able to actually leverage, hell hooks and other additional fighting styles means that you cannot bring as much of your talents to bear.
Yeah.
Because, as seen with the Konrad route, using your martial techniques is important. It's really helpful.
What they're there for.
Now, match 4 of the initial quarterfinals? Yes. Quarters, semis, finals. Is interesting, not necessarily to you guys, but some of you might find it interesting. Actually, I should grab the separate Dramatis stock to Control F so I don't have to dig through my own half of the Dramatis off of my, other tabs.
Yeah.
But Amalia Whitestone is captain of the Queen's Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And younger sister to the head of House Whitestone, who also, commands the 1st Regiment. They got a whole thing going on there. And Rosenroth Logi, of course, the Bloody Wolf, is future captain of the 5th Company, which is not yet completely established. Currently the Cavalier of 5th Princess Nerissa. And, the team's not distant, but like second cousin.
Has history with
Branched off a
Mora.
couple generations back. Yeah. Both of them fight, technically, you might say sword and board, but it would be, weapon and shield. Amalia Whitestone is rapier and buckler, while Dame Rosenrot is longsword buckler style. And of course, because I understand how dramatic tension works, Dame Rosenrot goes on to the next round. Probably, honestly, this one probably goes to time with like a single point scored, though. Like they're both using shields, so they have immense defensive control and are used to covering. They are both, bodyguards first and foremost. But it turns into a real nail biter. Probably a... Good?
Oh no, I was just making a wrestling joke. Don't mind me. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was talking, so it took me a second to understand what you said. Fourth set of matches is Sasia Oro, that's the third Baroness, and Haller the husband of Lady A. He is also sword and board style. Sasia Oro is a sword dancer, so she's wielding two saber or scimitar type blades. And she is the one who ends up going on, mostly because Lord Haller is pretty good with a sword. Obviously, he applied to the tournament, so we're putting in some work for House A. He is a decorated, knight and military commander. But the third Baroness is pretty good. I don't know how much family history you guys would be analyzing, but I think I've got... Yeah, she's a captain of the Order of Blade Dancers, and I did have her maiden name down, so you'll notice, yeah, she has she's from a what's the word? Technically equestrian, I guess, but a knight class family. So, she is here mostly through merit of the blade. This means that next we get Moira versus Lord Rearmouse. And you all know where it's going. Moira will win out. This one's probably a little bit more of a nail biter. Both Moira and Lord Rearmouse have clearly fought, fights that are real and fights that are for show. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of experience on their side. Moira's technique, because she is probably going for... Actually, honestly, Moira might switch between matches because she can do that. She's crazy versatile, but she plans her, weapon assortments to match her opponents better, and has a lot more flexibility in her style. So she can end up taking the edge in points. And similarly, Dame Rosenrot wins out over third Baroness Oro. Again, kind of going for like the old immovable wall type strat. Mm-hmm. Sword dancing, it's literally taught as a dance. It is meant to involve, threat display, intimidation, and kind of like control of an unseen rhythm. I actually do have I'm pretty sure some of you have seen it, but I did, a month or two back, add a sword dancing martial path.
I remember seeing it, yeah.
Do
I was
remember
interested
that,
in
yes.
it, but I'm already taken.
Sorry,
You're getting a little deep in there, yeah. But
I remember Logi Boys, that's why I'm like, wait a second.
Its advantages are like, you get better dodging by substituting in, dancing, you get better threaten and display move options, get better control over unworthies, kind of a thing. Against a, esteemed Cavalier of the Blood Knights, it doesn't really give you a lot for whittling through your opponent's defense. So Rosenrot can kind of, once again, run out the clock and sneak in like 1 or 2 points. And I'm going to be honest, I think in general, I should have mentioned this earlier, but I'm thinking about it. The Masters bracket probably involves a lot more where the actual like full 5 minutes elapses and nobody scores. Like, this is very high level fencing and other, swordsmanship techniques. So sometimes the two parties, fight their hardest and do not find a gap. Some of these are being won by like 1 or 2 points, period. As opposed to like the Journeyman bracket, which was a pretty masterful display in some cases, but most of them were like, who strikes first in a dramatic confrontation. But this means that the finale is, as everybody predicted, Moira versus Rosenrot. They kind of draw down blades, and there's a couple of, the first 2 rounds pass. No points scored. Very tense. Lots of clanging of blades. Sorry, I'm pausing to think. Nah.
Nah.
Some of you weren't saying you were keeping an eye out on stuff. Somebody may have a particular ability to sense the weather, but you would have to remember to utilize it. Yeah, I
It
know.
will rain today.
Well, yeah, actually, that is what's happening, jokester.
Oh, damn it!
It's
hubris.
getting later into the afternoon. You guys are, in the middle of summer, and it wasn't necessarily overcast, but there are a few clouds going over, and, you're kind of part of the way through the tournament, and there are some, distant peals of thunder, and it does, kind of start to rain. Some of you will be in the stands, will be in places where you can be covered or otherwise in, suitable clothing, but the rules of the tournament, involve using dyed or painted weapons, which do appear to be in the kind of a rainfall washing off. The judges take a second to confer. While that's happening, I think, not to linger too much in a dramatic moment for NPCs, but we're being illustrative. Moira will take off her fencing mask, kind of gesture to the sky, and, say to Dame Rosenrot basically something like, what would be Moira's best way to phrase this? Probably something like, are you going to be satisfied with this? Kind of holding up her dummy blade, which is now unpainted and kind of, rain pouring down.
Oh, okay.
So,
Begins.
Rosenrot will take her, kind of the mask off to get the water out and kind of, nod and signal. And after a little bit of, side eye to the judges, they will resume, basically we go from a scored final match to an exhibition final match. They're still using their, tester blades, but no longer, obviously, do we score via the paint. But I think it, makes a much more dramatic and gripping moment, don't you?
Yeah.
And
Konrad at least begins to watch the match much more intently now that the paint's gone.
Yeah, so like I said, this basically shifts partway through into an exhibition match. I think the judges are just gonna go with it because, like, clearly, and especially using Konrad as an example here, the crowd is like much more interested in this. Again, despite the light rain and distant peals of thunder, like it's not quite a live steel duel, but it's still like way more interesting about it, and it ends up being a much more intense matchup. Moira is utilizing sorry, I almost phrased that as three-bladed. That's not actually true because she's Moira two swords, but she owns 3 swords. But she gets to utilize her, unique change-up style of her long blade and short blades. Dame Rosenrot actually forgoes the buckler to go back to because she's using a longsword, like full 12 secrets, start double-handing and using a variety of stances. And it is, a much more dramatic fight. Couple blows are exchanged. The judges keep tally of scoring of what seem to be clean hits. And it doesn't end, with like a dramatic takedown or anything. It's just I think when the time expires for the end of the match, everybody kind of retracts their blades. The judges are kind of going over the scores, and I think that Dame Rosenrod will kind of clear some loose hair out of her face because not only is it raining, but also these two have been going very, very heavy at it, very intense. And she'll probably go for a fencer's salute and hold out her hand and concede. I must admit, you are still the better swordswoman. And Moira will, predator hand grasp. And be like, yeah, but not by much. And I think the crowd will respect it. They'll cheer a little. It's cool. Some of the people in the crowd are clearly not sure what's going on, but they're like, that's pretty neat.
I want to clap. Because I don't have any words to say.
You can say you clap. You can clap along. You don't have to physically clap because microphones.
It will not pick it up.
We're role playing, so you don't have to. What's the word?
Bitch.
Act out everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just made me flashback to fucking. I don't think this divide exists in the culture anymore, but I remember the LARPing jokes from the fandom from 15, 20 years ago in tabletop of if you stand up, you're LARPing.
God.
So no, you don't.
I've never heard that before.
You're probably too young, yeah, and weren't into the culture long enough. It's like I said, I don't think it exists anymore, but there used to be that kind of weird nerd divide.
Nerd.
But yes, that means absolutely you don't have to actually mime out clapping.
Nothing,
You can say,
nothing in the world is more pathetic than D&D nerds trying to justify how they are less nerdy than other D&D nerds. it's really sad.
No, Dallas, they're a different kind of nerdy than vampire LARPers, obviously.
Or theater kids.
Well,
Yes.
Aren just all of them. Though. Aren just all
I
of
have to
them.
remember.
I mean, that's,
I
Judge
cannot
Scott's
say
gonna check.
He also has
or
Warhammer
I will
miniatures.
I would be in trouble.
We know what's up.
I cannot say anything that comes to my mind.
But yes, Leslok, breaks out into applause. That probably promotes most of the Logi camp into applauding as well, because you wouldn't want your boss to be awkwardly clapping. You guys, of course, can decide if you do your own clapping, but yeah, I think that's the way to kind of seem to the match becomes much more intense, but also seems to settle on more friendly terms.
Ooh,
Good.
good for them.
But that's all your fencing.
That's all the fencing.
Okay, so 1 Espana victory and 2 Logi victories.
Oh, she's you're very far away.
It sounds
Oh,
cool to me.
sorry.
You do sound a little leaned back.
I think it's the. Hold on.
Excuse me, sorry. Anyway, while Dallas does adjusting, like I said, that's the end of the fencing tournament.
Woo. Success.
Yes, no, very successful.
Oh well.
Looking good. As Nicola said, you guys clocked in 2 victories, though admittedly the last finals was kind of a wash. That was going to go your way no matter what.
True.
But I believe some of you had things you wanted to do, so I'm passing it. We can't wait for Dallas to blow his nose his way through having a response.
This is. uh,
Yes, you do sound better.
okay. So, what's the protocol for challenging someone to an exposition? An exposition match.
Gonna talk your ear off, eh?
An
As you know,
No. I said expedition map, which means I tap one and search my library for any land. Fucking
Nicola, I
joke.
guess act not a spark, I guess.
Okay, it's real simple. You
I'll
challenge
do
them.
Okay, so. Where would Konrad be after the tournaments?
Probably getting a hot bath and getting a change of clothes.
No, yeah, I would assume there. So Nicola will be waiting in the castle. Why did I want? No, sorry. I hear sword fighting in the distance.
that might be lucky.
I think it is, but
No, it's out on the sidewalk. There's a duel out there.
Let me turn it down just a bit more.
no. If it was a duel outside my place, there'd be sound. Never mind. I'm not gonna do a bit.
So clearly,
No
you need to
bits.
go have your expedition
Brain.
tool in the sauna. We'll have the fucking Yakuza overlay.
No. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that.
Okay, I'll step
No,
away. For
I
a
will
second.
wait.
Is that fucking in Ishin, the bathhouse fight with extra steam?
Yeah, it's in Ishin. I think it's also in 2 as well.
Well, you want to know a fun fact about that?
Oh god.
Because I do know this. It is a reference to a very real wrestling match that has happened 2 times, where 2 people fight in a bathhouse.
I mean, if you're gonna do spectacle wrestling,
considering how many like wrestlers you see in the Yakuza series, I totally believe that.
Japanese bathhouse death match.
Of course, it's a death match.
anyway, let's not do that exhibition match.
Yes, no bathhouse death match. Anyway, no, I will wait for Konrad to get like more
All right.
like relaxed and like wait for him to clean up and tidy up. I will probably just be waiting in the halls of the castle. Like a nerd ghost.
Ah, Nicola. I was coming to look for you, too. You, actually.
Ah. Well, cousin... nope, wrong voice. Well, cousin... Nope. Down. Grr. Haggis. Meat. Groundskeeper Willie. Alright, cousin, it's good to see you. What was on your mind? Sorry.
Well, I was going to see if you wanted to have a bit of a spar maybe this evening after dinner. Weather permitting, of course, but, get some of the heat out of the blood. I'm sure you're not quite satisfied being restricted like you were in the tournament.
No, I will admit, while I do enjoy the Clash of Blades, it is frustrating not being able to use my preferred weapon. I was here to ask you the very same thing. So I see our minds are what's this? What's the fuck? Our minds are of the same place, right? Is that the term? Fucking brain. Why did I have to get sick the day before I had to do role playing, motherfucker?
That's the way it is. Well, I was gonna also go see if Logesh wanted to do some of the same.
I could see that.
So then a spar after dinner, then, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I assume you know that I will not be using any outside enhancements. No magic, no potions, no anything. Just pure
Good. I might have to bonk you with my
physical drug.
iron-studded stick if you did that.
You know, that does hurt me, but not because of the iron. It's just because you're strong. It's you're a very strong man with a stick.
Well, so are you.
True.
What is,
Yeah,
what is
and-
the body?
I'm fine. We can talk about exact details after dinner.
That works. Let's go have dinner. I have missed the cooking here.
All right. Scene closed.
This is what happens when two characters have the same idea.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom, but I had my headphones, and I was like, "You guys, me," and I was just like, "Enough talk, just fight."
How about you?
How about you?
How
How about you?
shirts off already.
Well, I don't know if you intended that,
That is Yakuza.
Dallas, but you didn't mention it as an exhibition match. So Konrad is assuming that's just going to be a spar.
Oh no! Nicola doesn't care what manner it is. He just wanted a fight against you.
He just wants to fight.
That's fine.
Also, we don't have to roleplay it out, but I think I will just say if Konrad does approach Logesh to ask, Logesh will just respectfully decline.
All right.
Enough testosterone, I guess.
He's got a dinner date.
Oh right.
The baby another day.
I did
Funnily
not
enough, not with I know. He's gonna cheer up Rodrigo because he lost again.
He's gonna have a bro date.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. Oh god.
You go
Yeah?
drinking.
I mean, Rodrigo doesn't necessarily need cheering up after that. That was a match fairsy and squaresy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Like
think
it's
of how
still,
to- Because there's one other thing I need to do with people in the castle, but I'm trying to figure out a way to do this that won't immediately get me, like, not thrown into prison,
Killed?
but, like, no, not that.
Beaten
no,
with hammers?
No. Wrong vibe.
Turn
Confined to my room.
into a little straw man and throw it off a
No,
cliff.
confined to my room is
Too late.
what I was thinking.
Oh, okay, so like,
Grounded?
so grounded.
Well, yeah. Basically, I wanted to be able to give someone a heads up in case I don't make it back to the castle tomorrow. But like,
Why would you not make it back from the mass at the Britain Cathedral?
because afterwards I'm going to talk to the Fairy Queen and present her with the gift.
Right.
I'm like, honestly, just
I see. So Konrad has to make sure to break your legs tonight, then, so you
like,
can.
there's a 95% chance I'll be fine.
Well, I was positioned. Well, I don't
I don't
know anything
know.
else. I am done with things for now. I was intentionally positioning the our little rumble for after evening, so Inos could do some stuff because I know he had some plans.
Well, it depends on what time the tourney actually ends.
I believe it would be early to mid-afternoon.
Oh yeah,
Is what I was describing. There's a little bit of afternoon rain, but
Yeah.
never hurt anybody.
No. Inos will, return to Stonehearth then and collect the package and wrap it in some. What would I wrap it in? Do we have a lot of silk?
Not a lot of it, but you do import it.
Nah, okay, no. Just we'll wrap it in some. How's our linen levels?
Oh, I mean that would be your default. You guys have access to mountain linen and cotton.
That's right. Okay.
Also, be like a fur maybe or something like that. I don't know.
Nah.
Sure,
This
it's
is
a
a gift. I'm
you're
not
going
gonna wrap
for
a gift in fur. I'm gonna wrap it in the linen.
You could do it in like a wool cover, but yeah, no, very very high thread count. Linen or cotton.
And grab Aurelia and see if she wants to, go run by the I don't want to say Aura Estate because they've taken over an inn, but like,
No, it's the inn where they're staying.
yeah. Well, the inn where the Auras are staying.
She's perfectly all right with that.
All right, cool. But yeah, so Inos will take his gift from Nakaluka, grab Aurelia, and we're gonna go see the Oros. Do I want to see Nakaluka or Pass first?
Well, if you don't see Noctiluca first, you're going to be holding a suspiciously sword-shaped package the whole conversation.
True enough. I mean, that's a great conversation starter. It's like, what's that? You want to know?
Milkshake. Sorry, no, it's smoothie. That's how that goes. My bad.
Smoothie.
But
Please
yes.
continue.
Inos will go find Noctiluca.
I once again forget what the inn is called because it comes up literally like once a session, but the Oro contingent is honestly like not as celebratory perhaps as you guys would leave in the halls of Hjurstan or in the various pubs around Stonehearth, but fairly celebratory. They got their lumps. They had a couple in the finals. And in general, they like to be in a good mood. So, there's downstairs even in the evening, the Baron is probably, I won't say holding court, but he's out and about at tables, talking with retainers and also, anybody bothering to come in, buying rounds of drinks, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And the whole Rear Mouse gang is probably there, but yes, you can signal to Noctiluca where she, sits dramatically in a darkened corner.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, my ears are ringing. Oh, God, why? Is that tinnitus? Ugh!
Sometimes I just
It
have
might
like
be the
sometimes your
tinnitus.
ears ring. Sometimes just like a noise in a distance you just can't hear properly.
Well, no, it just
It
came
is
in.
very rare, but I do occasionally get that.
Just got the ee out of nowhere.
Sometimes it just happens from wearing headphones.
That could be tinnitus. That does happen to me sometimes, but not a lot.
Brain. Shit, I did all this other thinking. I didn't actually think of what I would say to Noctiluca. Fuck. Fuck it. We ball. Inos will just, let's see. Noctiluca made it to the finals, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure I got this fact. But, Inos will, slide up dramatically and be like, Noctiluca, my dear, congrats on placing in the finals, my dear.
I think she, gives you like an aside glance and kind of like, not like flutters her eyelashes, but does give you like a little aside look.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, jeez. Sorry, like, I'm losing it. I don't know why I'm losing it. We've only been playing for like 45 minutes. I don't know why I'm losing it already.
Drink water.
You know what? You're right. Hydrate.
It was the too much pizza.
It was
Yeah,
the
drink
too much
some water.
pizza. Like I said, I went for something different than my
We
usual
haven't gone
pizza.
for like 40 minutes.
I did something usual than my usual pizza order. That shit was heavy as fuck.
It might be the food combo trying to hit you in the face.
I think it is trying to hit me in the face. Usually that shit happens after game. Like after game, usually I go immediately pass out from the food coma. But I think it's starting to hit me early.
You might need to like step do some jumping jacks to just like fight it.
I mean, like I said, we've been going for 40 minutes. We could take a brief break, do a run around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's take a brief break while I
If you
try
need
to
a
get
second, or you got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
please get like let me
Let's pause.
pausing my record.
Give like a second to get his.
All right, so with a little bow and a flourish, Inos will, say, well, it's nothing. Well, it may not be the grand prize in a tournament, but I do have a gift for you, my little knight. And Inos, will present, the linen wrapped, bundle to her.
She will, probably a little less. Like I said, she wasn't quite, coy before, but was in that dimension. Now a little more, a little straight faced. Will kind of like, take it and undo the wrap.
Mm-hmm.
She is not one of those people who, holds up a package and, shakes it to try and guess what's inside.
I mean, it's pretty short shaped.
Yeah.
It's a book.
It's a book of swords. No. But why don't you for the people at home and everybody playing describe the finished project?
Okay, so basically it's a masterwork Damascene trick Essek. The trick Essek is basically it's a long one-handed. I almost want to say it's not necessarily a saber.
No, it's a thrusting sword.
It's a thrusting sword. But it's basically it's a modified hunting Essek, which basically would have a leaf blade at the tip. Mega actually told me about this, and I did some research on them. Basically, Esseks were originally used as a sort of duelist weapon, but at some point, they became slightly invoked to use as in hunting for the thrill of it.
For the extra sportsmanship.
But the thing about the S-Talk, is that while it has a very sharp tip, the sides are actually not as sharp.
Not cutting sharp. I've posted it for people watching the video version. I have stolen this image from Elden Ring. You can see that it's basically a diamond-shaped blade. Mm-hmm. It's not really a cutting edge. It's just a giant spear tip on a sword handle.
Yeah, so best way to use it is basically to thrust it. And unfortunately, if you're using this in hunting, especially for things that might be charging you, the Essek has a very bad tendency to overpenetrate. Basically because it is so sharp and so thin, you will just bury your blade into the beast, and the beast will keep going, especially if you did not do any critical damage.
There is actually a reason why most spears do not have a crossbar that far back. Like you can see the leveraging.
Yes. And so to combat that, they came up with the hunting Esseks, was basically put a leaf blade and sometimes a crossbar at the tip of the blade, which made it much better for stopping beasties in the trek. Unfortunately, it makes it very, very unwieldy to carry because you can't put it in a scabbard. So what Inos has done is he has made what he is calling the trick Esseks. It is basically a normal Esseks with kind of the side still somewhat dull, so it is quite suitable use for dueling. But at the tip, it has a leaf-shaped blade. By twisting the handle somewhat firmly, the leaf-shaped blade will pop out into a crossbar. And the leaf blade and the crossbar are very sharp. Very sharp. That's where the Damascene part comes in. This blade has also been enchanted. Just a base enchantment. We didn't necessarily get too fancy with it. But it is awakened.
It is Damascened, it is awakened, it is a trick blade.
It is also masterwork. It is made specifically for Noctiluca's hands. But so the blade is, very fine, very elegant, very unique. But it does come with a special scabbard for it, which Inos has made of fine leather and has made of fine leather. and has also enchanted it by placing some jewels in it. He has basically put fire quartz. God, I can't remember. Polished fire quartz into the scabbard in a decorative. Thank you. Enchantment.
My favorite character.
Couldn't find it. Couldn't find a gift of it.
How did you do that? Not enchantment.
The best and
going over-
scariest part of that game.
Him just bloody with like what, a hammer? Just
You know, him surrounded by fucking darkspawn corpses.
Beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So smoky fire quartz.
Smoky fire quartz, kind of in almost like in a constellation upon the scabbard. I couldn't actually think of what constellation it would be because I don't know the constellations. I know we have them, but
Hey, is one of them actually one of the asterisms might be the spear?
if it is, it's probably.
I don't remember all of my fantasy asterisms off the top of my head.
Whatever one that I can fit on a damn scabbard and it looks thematically appropriate. Anyway, but the gems are twice enchanted with Gemstone Soul and Teach the Soul. Basically mechanics. Goddamn, Lucky. Gemstone Soul, as long as she is, long as that scabbard is on her person, she has 1 AR against, metal. And Teach the Soul, I put in. It's the Iron Demon racial ability. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one that also gives you 1 AR against metal.
Yeah, the one in Metal Heart.
Yeah.
Probably something like Iron likes you or something.
It's something like that. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Hang on. I have it on my character sheet, though.
Well,
now
yeah,
it's gonna
you
fucking
couldn't
bug me.
use the soul.
Love Iron without fear. That's what it was.
Yes.
Actually, it's not
is.
1 AR. It's one less point of shock and 1 less point of killing damage automatically.
It's raw damage cut.
Yeah.
Functionally, it's the same as having a point of armor
Hey,
rating, but
yeah.
it is not armor, so
Yeah.
there is
Works
no
around the piercing.
quibbling about any mechanics. It's just like, yeah, you just reduce damage dealt by metal weapons by 1 shock, 1 killing.
Also, the fucking.
So I
metal-
assume.
Also, I forgot. Gemstone Soul also gives you, the dice pool against, well, how do we put it? Harmful effects. I don't know what again, I don't remember what that counts for fucking metal, but that happens.
Which
too.
element did you do it? Was it metal?
Yeah, metal.
I mean, mostly it's we do roll gobble dice against area attacks and stuff like that.
Well, if she ever gets hit by a
Work
shrapnel
against
grenade,
grenades
I
and
guess.
cannonballs.
Yeah, about to say.
Meteorite.
It has to be more metal than rock, though. Earth is its own separate thing.
Well, iron, ferrous. What do they call them? Sidereal meteorites are pretty pure space iron.
I'm just thinking of
Thunderbolt
Nakaluka.
iron.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about Nakaluka parrying a fucking meteor right now.
Shh, don't spoil the endgame crisis.
Better than the end one.
Something. The night the stars go out. Anyway, yes. So what I was saying was that, you've probably got this whole thing, obviously, in a wrap, and then it's probably so the blade is inside the scabbard.
Yes. The scabbard's a
Also,
little thick.
actually, I should ask you. Also, new belt to go with it, or were you thinking just the scabbard?
I did not think of a belt. Genuinely did not think of a belt.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, then it's probably it's in the scabbard. So she takes it out. Obviously, after examining the scabbard, we'll draw the blade, which pulls out the estic, and then you probably have to because it's got a thick's not the right word, but it's got an unusually shaped tip to the blade.
Yes.
So you probably have to demonstrate the trick.
Yeah.
So, we do that and, show the work, and she will, test it out a couple of times, give it a couple of experimental, swings and thrusts.
Mm-hmm.
Studies it very carefully. She again kind of, Dr. Luke again kind of gives Inos a side glance, so just kind of like, well, I would say you have outdone yourself, but I admit I do not know the, shall we say, limits of your artistry. This is a fascinating and wonderful gift. She sheathes it and kind of like holding the scabbard kind of bows over it. Thank you very much. I do genuinely appreciate it. She kind of, I imagine, shoots in a side glance where I expect that in order to give you some space, because she is not a giant gossip, definitely. And also, she definitely can't hear across the room. But Aurelia is probably at a different space, discussing something, maybe having some afternoon tea and something with Paz. But Noctiluca glances over at their table and says, "I feel we are owing you a lot lately."
Enos just, scoffs at that and says, "That is that. This is this. Unfortunately, while I am versed in many things, I find that the best way to express my affection is in material goods." It's like, if
She says this, quiet enough so that people can't overhear. But she says she does observe, a little wryly but good naturedly. And also, you wouldn't want someone to feel jealous about, I don't know, some sort of one-of-a-kind music box, or even perhaps a hairpin, which was, the subject of much discussion.
it's like, no.
She doesn't even know about the magic boat. I don't think you've told a lot of people about that.
Oh no!
It's not, and Enos just kind of, is, oh, what's the way? It's all like, I'm sorry, I know, like, I guess I'm going to say
It's okay. You can kind of sound it out. What
just
what
like
the
just
space you're looking for is.
just like quite.
Yes, yeah. She kind of takes a gloved hand and kind of like briefly clasps you on like the forearm or something. Nothing too intimate in public, but a genuine moment, and it's like, I appreciate it all the same. She kind of pauses and thinks to herself and says, "I appreciate you, Inos, not only for your material aspects."
I am damn.
She says that in such a way that you can take that as a double entendre.
I'm totally, yeah. I'm beautiful, baby.
Yes.
You are literally gorgeous.
And good with your hands. You can also take that one as another entendre.
Double whammy.
Triple entendre?
But, she says, "Well, I do appreciate that. That is not the only reason why I find your company interesting." She kind of, you're an Oro gang. She kind of, lightly, again, she's still wearing like probably her dueling gloves sort of a thing, suitable for a fencer, but kind of, pokes you gently on the temple and says, "You have a good heart and a very keen mind." And she nods once again over to where Paz and Aurelia is saying, "You say these things are separate, but they are not as separated as you think they are. The young lady, Logi, is your student, shall we say. She takes some cues from you and the rest of her family, after all."
Yes, the good ones and the bad ones. Yes. Oh man, does Inos have actually anything else to say in this moment? And it's not like, yes, no, but Inos, smiles and bows once more and says, "Your words make my heart as light as air as always, my little knight."
She kind of, returns your bow with, returns, or should I say, returns the bow with a nod, and kind of like, I'm trying to think what her. Oh, she has some, or rather, I'm working on some kind of metaphor of just being like, I want to connect air and night kind of a thing there, as in the night.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's probably something like, knowing her family history, probably something like, that's good. You can't catch air kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, yes. Enos will nod and then say as if he and will mention as if he just remembers, like, oh yes, about about your sword. If you were to give it a name and tell me what it be, that'd be very good. You see, that blade is a masterwork, an iron demon masterwork. Such things are usually recorded and inscribed in our halls, and, well, we take such... Oh, shit,
Pride?
No, well, yes, we take much pride in those, and we also take much pride in they staying with who we give them to. It's like, oh, God, fuck. I don't believe anything untoward will happen to you or with you. I do not believe anything untoward will happen to you with you have that blade. But just as a extra security measure, if something were to happen to it, well, my people would be quite insistent on getting it back, one way or another.
So, some of you are going to have deep psychic damage when I say this, but I think the most appropriate name she would give would be the Cazadora Nocturne, which in Spanish means night hunter, but also, hey, no, that's what Cazadors are named after.
Man, I knew
Kill
they
him
were
with
named after-
fire.
I knew they were named.
Cazador.
I also think of Cazador Vampire.
Is that where the R
God,
is in
don't say
Nocturne?
that. That makes me think of a Cazador with vampiric abilities. That's awful.
Well, it's the name of a vampire in Baldur's Gate.
I mean, they already
I
do
know,
that,
but
right?
I'm thinking
No, they have they don't have life drain. They have life you die.
Well, your life does drain out of you, just not into the Cazador, onto the ground.
Yes.
Yes. But Enos will, thank her. He's going to take note of that, and he's going to make sure to register this masterwork later.
Yeah.
But after that, Enos will participate in a bit of small talk with Nantaluka, catch up on how things, how are her feelings on the tournament. Does she think, she can do better? She can, train harder for it?
Ooh, I mean, if you ask her, does she think she can do better? No, Noctiluca is definitely the kind of person who's like, I know I could do better.
Very good.
We have, more tricks, more talents to learn. Actually, it reminds me, we've discussed it before. Has Inos actually brought up wanting to get her a Lichtenritter instructor yet? I don't remember.
Well, he hasn't brought it up, but he can at this point if she's like interested in finding like something new to learn. Because I do think that a Lichtenritter would probably suit. What does she normally use in her offhand at this moment?
Dagger.
Southern
Carrying
style,
dagger,
right?
like the Espada Southern style.
I said, Inos will bring up that we do have a, a sword and lantern style. It's might be particularly useful for night fighting. Probably not the best for, noble dueling, though.
Maybe not noble dueling, but
Illegal dueling, totally.
He was bonking.
yeah, it's the night fighting.
He was bonkus.
Well, it's not the bonkers. It's the actual the origin of the school is you go out at night to fight without anybody watching, so you bring a lantern. But yes, no, she would express an interest in that study.
All right. Inos will say he'll see if he can find someone to instruct her in it at his earliest convenience.
Yeah, a couple of members of House Palick for sure are students of it.
Yeah. But with that, Inos will bid his polite farewells. He does not wish to monopolize her right now.
Mhm.
And make his way over to where Aurelia and Paz are speaking.
Dr. Luca will probably not that Enos necessarily needs it, but she will offer a little social cover because she will immediately, start showing off the blade to, her father and other members of the Oro party, because that is kind of one of the Akunar things is, finally made goods. They are a house of money, but also that turns into, fine works.
I mean, I think the only way I can make it more finer is add way more jewels and put more enchantment on it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I applaud myself for my restraint.
Yeah. But it's a very, very fine, high-level sword.
Mm-hmm.
What? Inos restrained?
The cool trick.
I know, right? But Inos will slide over to Paz and Rally and be like, "Afternoon, ladies. Am I interrupting?"
I think Paz starts to say something like, oh, not of course, and I think Aurelia just kind of arches an eyebrow at you and says, "Would you stop if you were?"
I was like, "Oh, of course not."
She just kind of, nods and says, "Then no. Here, tea cake."
Thank you.
Passes you a plate.
Thank you. Are they having tea or something?
Yeah, I mentioned that before. They're having kind of an afternoon tea.
Mm-hmm. Inos will take a seat and, serve himself. It's fine. That's all Oh. So, what were you discussing before I so rudely interrupted?
Oh, this, that, the other thing. A little bit of my, Aurelia's continuing, a little bit of my, shall we say, sword success?
I forget. How far did Aurelia make it? She made it to the...
Oh, she made it all the way to the finals with Paloma.
Mm-hmm, yes. And it's like... Yes, I'm... It's quite successful. I am not entirely surprised at the result, though. After, ugh. And so, I'm pretty sure the Espadas are 90% dueling by nature.
Aurelia kind of nods and says, quieter as to not to be overheard about it, but kind of just says, "I kind of expected it to go that way for other reasons." But she kind of playfully, taps Enos on the shoulder and says, "That's why in a real fight we cheat."
So I'm just thinking back to this one thing I heard, which is someone just looking at the camera, and cheating is based.
I was like, well, in a real fight, anything to win. But I think it is good to say that you're not so far behind Paloma that she's probably she's not so far behind. You're not so far behind Paloma that she's not feeling the pressure. He said, "Keep up the training and keep up the training. I believe that you'll be more than a match for her."
Aurelia kind of quietly into her cup and says, 1-1. I think Paz takes it as kind of an opportunity to be like, oh, even second place is incredible. Aurelia, kind of maybe gets a little slight pink of a blush and being like, I myself am lacking in such martial talents. Could not hope to have placed it all.
No, but pals, your talents lie elsewhere. Lie elsewhere, and they are just as valued. I do hear that you have been corresponding with Nicola. You've been working with him over our recent discoveries.
She kind of nods a little surprised, but then kind of the honestly, it's probably a similar look to like Nicola's look of like expanding knowledge mode of just being like the eager scholar, and she kind of nods more assuredly, and she's just like, oh yes, it's been fascinating. I've been She kind of pauses and says, to begin from the beginning, yes, I had already been studying many of our ancient records of the Alchemia, and coming across the suggestion of the arts of fire previously. The points that actually no, I think she would, because he is a medical doctor. Paz would refer to Nicola as Dr. Gridarvol. She gives him his scholarly dues. But, even as Dr. Gridarvol suggests, there is some overlap. Not to take too long with it, but she will basically not demonstrate, but she will re-explain the theory of the smokeless fire that I mentioned previously, that she showed Nicola earlier in Summer Court, but like I said, he hadn't had time to actually like discuss with anybody.
Okay.
She will mention that to Inos, so you are caught up on that. Because like I said, she doesn't think too much about the keeping secrets of that. And if anybody has not got the secret sorcery section, brought up on there, the way that works is it's a 5-minute casting, intensity 1 spell, which is basically like, mistaken for like the common alchemia, and has been replaced by like more modern fire starting systems. But it's basically like you get like a bowler plate or like a mat of woven beads, some kind of physical ritual object, light it up, and it is literally smokeless fire. It becomes as hot as a small campfire, but doesn't set anything else on fire. Can cook food and boil water. Generates enough heat to be comfortable, kind of a thing. But yeah, so she describes kind of the theory and origins on it.
Interesting. Inos will basically, explain no, actually, Inos will ask Paz if Nicola explained where and how we, discovered his knowledge, or did he just, be like, here, knowledge, check this shit out.
Sorry, I 100% told her where. I 100% told her when I found it.
Let's actually check, because I think I've got your outgoing letter.
Oh yeah, I did send it in a letter.
Yeah,
excellent.
So
we don't have to rely on our shitty memory.
Man, our shitty memory. I hate our shitty memory so much. I'm sorry, what was that, Axe?
I'm like 90% certain.
Honestly, I only heard about this like secondhand from like just you guys saying you did a thing and not actually the direct telling of it. So
I 100% told you that I told people. I
Yeah,
also literally asked you permission to show her the merfolk thing.
Yeah, that was all one letter. Sorry, I'm just thinking about. I'm gonna dob Nicola / Dallas out a little. This is how he signs this letter. It is just like, you're such a funny little guy.
friend student.
Also, yes, the grammar's not correct, but that's
commas, yeah.
the. I don't know if we want to take if we want to take it as diegetic or not. Like, is Nicola as bad at spelling as Dallas is?
It's more grammar.
I
No.
kind of
Nicola
there are
is
also were spelling
no,
errors
no.
that are not shown.
Nicola is 100% better at spelling than Dallas is. Nicola is also 100% worse at grammar than Dallas is. Because he's
that's
an
fair, yes.
ADHD-fueled nerd.
So the slightly awkward read of friend, student, and teacher missing a comment is probably in there, but the spelling errors are Dallas, not Nicola. But yes, actually, so I don't know if Nicola intended to let her know, but actually the description you have at the time is pretty vague. You discuss more your actual use of pyromancy as a divination method and like how it works, and less about like where you got the information you're working from. Though you do talk about sharing your findings at Summer Court, which you have already done. So you could have brought it up then.
I remember why I'm confused. I told her about the ancient pyromancers that we found in the tomb of Leofric Logi in the like very, very early episodes. Do you remember what I mean? When we found evidence of like the clan of the fire users
inside the mountain.
inside the mountain.
Yeah, when you went in the labyrinth, there were carvings of the fire dancing tribe.
I did not tell her directly that.
That sounds correct. Yeah, I think you mentioned that to her when you met back up at
that's what I got
spring.
confused about. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I did
you
not
could have mentioned the monastery tablets to her because you said in your letter we would we'll compare notes at Summer Court.
I probably would have mentioned them. Like honestly,
but
outside of the fan,
knowing Nicola, I don't know how. This is a role playing question for Dallas, but I don't know necessarily how detailed Nicola would be about the history and origin. Like, you would probably mention what the source is of like, technically it would be Inos translated some ancient tablets that describe so and so. You might actually mention like who the narrator was that described this to you, but I don't actually know if Nicola would be thinking about the like ancillary cultural details about like, and we got these tablets in the Temple of a Thousand Candles kind of a thing.
I think Nicola would mention stuff like that because he is, like I said, he's very thorough when it comes to academic like research, and that the cultural context in which we found it could have bearing on like where more of this shit is. So I can't imagine I wouldn't tell Paz that.
Out of character, I do want to say this. I'm really not liking this thing where we have to keep going back and saying like, yeah, I would have done this.
Okay.
Because I do feel like this is like robbing me of opportunities to, maybe explain things on my own, as I am also involved.
All right. Then I can. I don't.
Like, no, I can understand like if you like you did say you were going to talk more about that summer course, so I'm willing to accept that you were going to explain this, but we do have this semi-constant thing where we just go back and say, oh yeah, I would have done this in this thing that happened like 3 months ago. I would like to avoid that in the future if possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll say this: I don't want you guys to like, because we have other problems about this. I don't want anybody to be too bundled up in anxiety of like, oh no, if I don't say something, I can't go back and change it because I forgot about it 3 weeks ago. Like, there are logical moments where it would be like, well, you guys would know about this, but as correct of like, it is also kind of. Sorry, the phrase that jumps to mind is a bum deal, but that's not really. That feels a little too harsh. But like, it is tougher for role play to kind of also constantly shape the narrative with current knowledge. Like I said, we were able to figure out that you originally did mention to her the stuff in Logi's Labyrinth, because when you say that, I'm like, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
That sounds like,
No,
because
I
you
100%
talked to Paz
remember I said
Yeah.
that.
months and months ago in character about
Yeah.
like where you were researching, because you
So
wrote
I'll
ahead
just
to
say,
her and asked
yeah,
her to like look that stuff up.
I will just operate under this. If I can't remember I explicitly did something, I didn't do it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
And like I said, I ran down Nicola's letter, and it was actually fairly vague. Apart from that, like as kind of like, because I think we'd get into this discussion now. Paz would say that, you know, to kind of illustrate, because yeah, I don't think Paz would know how much Inos would know about this, right? Like, again, especially if Nicola or Dallas is saying that Nicola did not explicitly say, you know, what his sources is. I don't know if she would know that you were the translator, basically.
well, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to know, so it's like Enos could be like, I'm actually more knowledgeable on it than you know, and stuff. But
Yeah. So like I think because as a lead into that, because I think this also works to demonstrate Paz's character a little. You know, she would talk about the you know, she has been looking. She talks about the smokeless fire, and we'll say, and you know, describes that looking into to the right, because I said earlier she phrased it as to begin at the beginning. She started looking into kind of the connection with the sorcery of fire at the alchemical college months and months and months ago, because I don't actually know, and there's no way we're going to remember, because it was also months and months ago in character. Nicola probably mentioned it in passing, what he was talking about Paz with to Inos, but I don't know if Inos would have tucked that one away at like the Festival of the Rising Dragon, right?
all right.
Because you guys had a lot of other stuff. So she says that she first got on this research track back then at the Festival of the Rising Dragon, talking with Nicola about, you know, his suspicions of ancient fire magic, and then she went into the tank basically to dig up the records she's been working on. The notes about pyromancy as a divination art that Nicola shared with her let her go back forth. She would mention that it hadn't yet come up in conversation where exactly, you know, the house sourced that, but Paz would probably ask, not phrase it as a statement, but would ask if it was related to the Temple of 1,000 Candles, because that temple has a copy of the statue of Fornaxia that's in the Alchemical College.
Yes.
So she would like, that would be something that would be in the Alchemical College's records, as they, you know, produced a copy of that very famous statue of Orichalcum and sent it off. So that would be the most logical one. So that kind of like loops into, I think, where you would want to
Yeah.
say
No.
Enos's piece.
Yeah. So Enos would basically say, yes, actually, and then go on to explain that they found the writings of Sandra Diga, who was sister to, was it
Solier Goldenhair.
Soleil Gold? I knew it was Golden Hair. I was just trying to remember. Golden Hair, who practiced the you know, ancient fire.
Hey, don't you worry, man. I'm gonna make this so much worse. I've been in the tank lately. I would like everybody to remember, Solier Goldenhair was 7th of 7 sisters, each
Yeah.
of whom has a different color-coded name.
Yeah.
You motherfucker!
Yeah, Sandra Diga Redmayne, who was a
Yeah, sorry, I stood up. I was gonna say the exposition will get worse, gang.
and, you know, we found her and that, you know, Enos was the one who translated the trans writings from basically from what we would call like proto-crown, you know, like proto-crown.
Yeah, the old Norlish dialect.
Yeah. And that it says no, that was an Aurelia vision, correctly, of seeing, you know, seeing the women with the fucking giant fire golems behind them. Wasn't that? That was
Yes.
Like, yeah.
That was something that I also am, as much as that conversation with Dallas brought up this particular plot point, conversation from, I do not actually think Nicola has described Bonfire Colossus to Paz, because he only figured that one out after she recapped the events of the Corbwood, and she did share that dream vision she had.
Okay.
Because it was pretty metal.
It was pretty metal. But
Nicola has canonically not even cast that spell yet.
I would hope not. We don't
good,
need
because you need a lot of dead. Also, you need a lot of dead animals to fuel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Inos will explain that he was the one who actually, translated and passed the notes to Nicola, and we'll give, a slight summary of, the fire dancers who, just kind of mysteriously appeared on the island of Teine. Sorry, it was like, wait, I'm messing it up again. Is our continent Teine or is our country Teine?
Country.
Country is Teine.
Yeah,
Our island is Norlon.
Teine, the island is Norlon. Yes.
Yep.
I always get this mixed up. The island of Norlon.
So do all of us.
Isle of Norlon. And so so Inos will, turn a question to Paz. Is like, does Paz necessarily know the connection between, the fire dancers and, the alchemical college? It's like, clearly there is a connection there, but...
Yeah, she'll actually, when you mention Sandrodiga's name, she will actually, probably pull out a little notebook and jot that one down. And she's like, that name is not explicitly familiar.
Do we have the names of the rest?
Sorry, I've realized I've closed the wrong tab. There we go. Let me get that back. That's my notes. My notes. I closed it after reading a letter, and I shouldn't have. But yes, she would bring up some stuff, which is that. Let me see if it's in my history about the exact names.
Second, I think I have the Sangha document as well.
It's that one. It's that one. Because basically, I'm trying to remember back from Gridarvol's notes. It was described in the history books that Logi Torchbearer was went everywhere. He was going all over the place talking to people. And I think at some point it was mentioned.
Yeah, for the sisters, we got Celine Golden Hair, Agalinda Sword Sister, Sandra Giga Redmane, Tawin White Flame.
Alright, so we just need a green, a blue, and a purple.
Well, green and purple are not naturally colors that come into flame.
What?
So clearly blue.
Define natural, because green is textually is, but we can quibble about that.
This note printed twice. So I'm Control F something, and I'm like, am I going crazy?
He's going crazy.
Okay, no, it's the Google Docs search count of which instance is which. Okay, so no, that was not in the Gridarvol. That was something I mentioned in the backstory of the Temple of 1,000 Candles. But yes, the first head of the founder of the alchemical college, Paz would mention, was Narine the alchemist, daughter of Oro, who was the one who made both the original statue and the copy you guys have, which is how that name came up before, which is what I was searching for. So yes, she would mention that according to the college's history, you know, Logi Torchbearer was the first Lord Magister, so he was known to be a I guess we'd say, you know, a student of wisdom, a studier, a scholar of all things sorceress.
Hmm.
Not just the sorcery he could actually utilize, and was known to you know, correspond with Nareen, and that to I guess all of Troikron's history, you know, as the bride of Logi Torchbearer, you know, Celia Goldenhair is known as a mythical figure. But also, you know, it's been like 1,000 years, so their version of the history about her doing stuff like, you know, divining truths from the smoke and like hurling fire from her hands is like that could always have been an exaggeration. So, you know, she would be talking about like the, you know, the mythology, you know, Logi is known to the alchemical college, you know, and not probably, again, not like a formal mentor, but like his kind of, you know, mystical ways of investigating everything was known to Nareen the Alchemist. And we obviously, like I said, they know about Celia Goldenhair. She doesn't know any of the other 7 sisters, like I said, that, you know, Sandradiga's name is new to her. But yes, the any explicit mention of the tribe of the fire dancers has not been preserved, at least not in the common records.
Okay.
That means we gotta go sleuthing.
We do
She,
gotta go.
you know, feverishly scribbles some stuff down.
There's definitely a secret tunnel somewhere in the alchemical college.
Yeah.
Is it relevant to what we're looking for? No idea, but it's there.
Many secrets.
Actually,
Well, Inos said, well, or rather, Lucky said, does Inos want to ask about the other mystery at the alchemical college you guys are wondering about?
yeah. It's like
Pretty sure that's a Inos thing.
it's very much an Enos thing, but it's all like I'm gonna drag y'all with me, so it's a we thing.
Oh no!
I literally have to go there to get my degree. That's not even a joke.
Actually,
Don't fight the dragon.
that reminds me of something I was looking up, well, fairly recently. I heard there was a legend that a dragon used to study at the alchemical college. What was their name again? What was their name again? Shit.
Oh, I can tell you, but also Paz would say it straight away. She's like, oh, you're talking about the legend of Raber Everflame. Yes, that is a old folktale at the college. It is passed down very frequently. I must admit, I do not know if it is strictly true. Sorry, her accent slipped a little there. I do not know if it is strictly true. Well, she kind of, you know, glances around and says, I do not want to spread baseless rumors, but the current dean of the Department of Fire is known to be very secretive. She does keep herself to herself, but the departments are all very busy with many different things. You know, they are linked to the great elements, and they have a number of things to discuss. Fire is our department associated with the preservation and discovery of knowledge, the spreading of wisdom. My aunt, the current Lady Magister, is also the dean of the Department of Gold, which is associated also with the fundamental element of metal. They are associated with the, how shall we say, not the physical logistics of the college exactly, but with the
dollar.
material enrichment of the college. This does involve funding, but also making sure that all the students have necessary materials for reagents and the like. and so on down the line. The Department of Water is associated with healing, cleansing, actual medicine. The Department of Wood is associated with the other half of the logistics, making sure that all of the students, eat and drink, and so on.
If this is anything like a college campus, I'm pretty sure there are some students who forget to do such a thing.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just had a thought. What unholy creation is the alchemical college equivalent of Adderall? Oh my god.
I mean, it's you. Don't you know Mentat elixir?
Yeah, I'm about to say it's like Mentat. Like we have the brain blast.
Oh yeah.
There is literally a brain potion. Get +1 knowledge. Does it do you 1 shock damage everywhere after it wears off? I think it makes you sleepy.
I'll double check.
Yeah, I was gonna joke that there was a brief cut to Nicola when they talked about people not eating.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be the joke she was thinking about. But yes, to cycle back, Paz says that yes, the actual head of the department is a very private person, mostly concerned with the most ancient records of the alchemical college.
Inos, kind of hems and haws over that. If I was secretly an ancient dragon, that's probably what I would do too.
Actually, it does not.
And
It's
you
no
see,
penalty.
this is why
It's just that you can't drink multiples.
Okay, you can't stack them. It's just the +1, but
Okay.
still.
Equal to live.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, no, like Paz kind of like shrugs her shoulders and says, "Well, Master Inos, welcome to the schoolyard gossip of the alchemical college for at least as long as I have been alive, and I think as long as my aunt has been alive, maybe longer."
Inos will shrug at that. It's all like, well. Inos kind of pauses about that and is all like, no, I probably shouldn't say I'll go snoop around when we come over. That seems very, very gauche.
I'm just imagining Aurelia catches you with her side eye and she just turns to Paz and says, "Maybe when we're down there, we'll get to the bottom of your schoolyard rumors."
So I've
Paz
on being the
kind of like nods sagely, I think, and she just says, "Just so long as you are careful. Not that the alchemical college is like full of deadly traps or anything, but it's full of alchemical reagents."
and stupid teenagers.
Nicola makes a big deal out of being, struck with a fulminating jar. That was definitely an accident, but it does happen. You would not believe the kind of effort that the what would be the right word? I guess it would be like serf or drudge for like the college servants, but like basically she tells a story about like it's an immense amount of work to constantly sweep the sand off the stairs in the college because you really don't want alchemists tripping.
So I think we can. I think it's fair to say Nicola has dibs on being the Velma of the group when we investigate.
Are you gonna fucking lose your glasses and be useless for half the time? What's up?
Probably.
No, okay.
He's gonna say jinkies.
Jinkies.
My glasses.
But Enos kind of mulls that over. And it's all like, it'd be good if it be true. But he kind of claps his hands and be like, "Oh." That's all like, this is maybe a completely different direction, but sorry. Yeah, no, I think Enos will probably like bring it up to Paz first before everything's like, that's all like, this is a bit of a more personal business, but have you heard of something called the Necropolis or the City of the Dead in your lands?
That was she kind of paused to think, and she's like, "Oh yes, Necropolis is the old imperial name, I think. The the desert Kith call it the city of adamant, or the city with black walls, I think is the more literal translation. You speak some Kithlang, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she probably like goes over the words in Kithlang, and yes, the city of black walls is kind of the more literal translation. But she's like, yes, I do not know if it is an actual city, at least not anymore, but there are ruins deep in the Golden Desert. She kind of flips in her notebook and kind of like, sketches out maybe like a loose map of Celticy and kind of points to like deep in the heart of the continent. It is more south in Akunar. It is closer to the Tempest border, but is separated by the harshest parts of the desert.
Ooh, the harshest parts.
In the western regions. Yes, on the southern side. It is supposed to be a set of temples that were ancient when the Kith were newly come to the desert. They have a few different legends and stories about it.
Do they?
Yes. We can ask Ramil. Ramil, who would be there, by the way. If you hadn't poured tea for yourself, he would have poured you your tea.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, yes, I would be quite interested to learn them.
Ramil kind of, perks up. Reminder, Ramil's totem is a desert jackal or something, so he's got, big triangular doggo ears. He kind of, perks up a little and it's like, oh, yes, that is not, that is not my particular clan, but I hear things, stories on the desert winds.
I'm about to say, aren't desert kids like super big into gossip and socializing?
Oh yeah, no, they're a nomadic wandering culture. They have nothing to do when it's like the hottest part of the day, but hang out and gossip. But to remind, yes, okay, Ramil is Sun Sand. I was wondering if he was like Golden Sun or something, but no, Sun Sand.
I knew he was Sun something, but
my Keith is Sun Sand. We are from the northern parts, where it is sunny and sandy. He raises a finger. Do not think that is the entirety of the desert. But the Kith who controls the regions around the Adamant City are the Kith of the Black Moon. They are very old. Their name has never passed out of our history.
Oh.
Damn.
As you say, there are... actually, let me double-check the numbers. Is it 27? 37? There's a specific number of Kiths.
That was 27.
Yeah, I think it's
There can only be like
27.
27 clans at any time.
29. 29 tribes. Okay. So Ramila is like, yes, they have never left the 29 Kiths. It is possible, for a Kith to die out, for Kiths to tribes to merge, but Black Moon has never faded. They are notoriously distant. They mostly dwell in... how do you say? There is a mountain in the desert, in the heart. A lone mountain. I think there is an oasis beneath it. Or a cistern. Something like that. There's water there.
Water.
Most Kith are nomadic by nature. It is our purpose. He puts a imaginary bookmark in that and basically says, if you want to tab back to that one, I can explain why we do that, but that's a different story. But he basically says that the Black Moon Kith. They're based around the region known as the Mastaba Plateau. And they patrol the territory they are based around, but they do not stride far from it. They have a very, very ancient duty to that land. The exact details of which we do not always know. I do know that they are followers of what we call the Lady of the Western Desert, or the Lady of the Setting Sun. You would know her as the Dea Tacita.
Inos, kind of leans in a bit more on that. Like, really?
Yes. He kind of, holds up his hands and says, "Now, of course, I have heard many stories and rumors, so I do not know which ones are true. But if you listen to all of them, well, there's so many. Some say the city was literally built to house the dead before, He makes a vague wiggly gesture that indicates, the veil on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And because the desert is sacred to the Queen of Flames and Sands, Lady of the Desert, it was bound in literal walls of adamant, which is not that impossible. If you've never seen it, the adamant gate in Tempest is kind of literal.
No. Well, he said Lady of what? Flames and Sands?
Yes, the Queen of the Desert, generally the Queen of the Desert, the Lady of Flames and Sands, is their description for Fornaxia.
Oh, okay.
Raised adamant walls to protect the city of the dead.
Okay.
Others say that it is a hidden entrance to... Oh, what is your word for it? The underworld? It is not one literal wall, but rather a series of 7 great gates. And to pass through each gate, you must sacrifice something.
Well, call me Ishtar.
Or some such. And others simply say that there are, great pyramidal cairns and tombs that dot the plateaus in that region. They were built long ago by someone's ancestors, and they built the physical walls to keep out, robbers and desert predators. It is not just through our dedication to the Queen of the Desert that the Kith also practice burning our dead. It is because if you bury a body in the desert, the jackals will eat it.
Honestly, I find it would be pretty hard to bury a body in the sand.
I mean, literally, this is why the Egyptians moved to stone, like, mortuary temples and eventually pyramids, and then back down to, like, rock-cut tombs. We've actually found evidence that, like, they tried to, throw coffins and bury bodies in the desert, but the desert just dries you out so you don't decay, and then you get dug up by jackals. That's why Anubis is probably a jackal god. Because there are always jackals and desert dogs around, cemeteries and burial grounds.
Let me see. So you say the tribe of the Black Moon knows about this, but they're in...
Yes.
Inos, rubs his strand and then, gives a little bit of side eye to Aurelian. It's like, I think we may have to go make our introductions.
Aurelian kind of, I think, takes a deep breath and says, "Well, I will not tell your friends that this is a impossible trip. We do it all the time, of course, to traverse from one end of the desert to the other. The Golden Desert is, I would say, smaller than any single one of your provinces here in Norlon. If I have understood your maps correctly, anyway. I was not too busy being seasick. But it will be warm, even in winter, when you're planning on visiting. And then, of course, though you will be more used to it than some. The nights shall be bitingly cold. But it is a traversal that would not take too long, physically, temporally. Just that it will be tough. You will need to prepare. He kind of shoots in a side glance to pause and then back to you and says, and your journey would go much better if you were to hire a team of porters, stout kith desert travelers, perhaps some camels. Huh? Get a few dromedari? You ever seen a camel, Inos?
Has he? No. When Enos probably went to go fetch Nicola, he probably didn't go wandering around the desert too much. So.
Well, imagine a horse, but angrier and more stubborn. And instead of kicking, they spit.
That sounds absolutely horrific. Why would you ride these?
Because, my friend, they are the only form of livestock that will tolerate our presence. Goats, sheep, cattle, they're all nervous. Because, he kind of, not quite preens, but, he kind of straightens his shoulders and, his animal-like ears on the top of his head kind of flick around. He's like, as you know, my ancestors were jackals and desert dogs. You may meet some kith who have the aspect of a desert fox, or a stalking cat, or other things. I think I know a guy whose totem was a weasel once, but he might also have just been a real pain in my arse. Pardon me, lady. He kind of, nods his head to pause, and she just kind of like titters and waves it off.
No, but how would Enos address Ramil? Not Sir Ramil. Mister?
Brave Sir
You might do
Robin.
mister.
Yeah, let's do Mister. Yes, but Mr. Real, I do think that your suggestion does have quite a bit of merit. Like I said, I am sure that I can convince most of the others that a trip to an ancient city of the dead in the middle of the desert would be quite thrilling, if not the less, and we'll probably have to make all sorts of preparations. All sorts of preparations to ensure a swift and safe journey.
I can't we ever go anywhere nice?
We go plenty of places.
All kinds of nice places.
Yeah.
You guys ascended you guys did a pilgrimage. You ascended the holy mountain. You saw the big god chairs. Wasn't that nice?
It was really cool.
It was cool and affirming.
We went to Lampclair.
Now you got to go to the other end.
Rephrase that. Relaxing.
I'm sorry.
We went to a relaxing place once.
Lampclair is very nice, but you did not relax there. No.
We went to the hot springs place. I love that place. Great.
Nicola, I think you've discovered the problem. The problem is not that you don't go anywhere relaxing. It's that when you go places, you don't relax.
That's right.
Has Nicola run out of that fucking alcohol yet?
Oh, we stole an entire crate and I am one man.
No, he's not belting back those bottles of brandy.
But, yes.
It's my emotional support, Randy.
But, yes, we'll have to probably make more concrete plans once we're actually in Akonar. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to ask Ramil? Kind of learned about. I guess I could.
This is my emotional.
I mean, he put a pin in it. You could ask him about their origin story.
Yeah,
because you've asked several other kindred about it.
Yeah, it's like actually. But yes, no, Inos will ask about yeah, I'm not going to roleplay it. Inos will ask about it and ask about, why are they nomadic and whatnot. Because I do remember there was a...
Right. Ramil shall explain this in character, but I will not explain it in character, so I don't have to read my notes in his accent. I don't have to, constantly be Khajiit has wares if you have coin. Actually, Ramil's not quite that raspy, but it is a little down in that register. But he basically, does the same version of the story that, you guys have honestly heard kind of a lot, because, you've talked to the Inos specifically has talked to the Harpuya about this. Several of you, like, we joked about it, doing it as all one PowerPoint, but I think it was technically several of you separately quizzed Lady White about this.
Yeah.
About like the fairies version of the origin story. So, Ramil talks about, of course, in the ancient days of the world, thousands of years ago, when all things were being divided up between the gods, the world was vast and was still being formed. He points up and says, there was firmament above, points down, fundament below. There was sky and earth. He does not say stone and sky. He wouldn't know that one, but, earth and sky. And says, eventually in time there was divisions between land and sea, salt and fresh, day and night. Plants and animals, grew upon the land, swam in the seas, and flew in the skies. But all things must change in time. Life must grow and then must come to an end. Because, at least, to the wisdom of the Desert Kith, to be permanent and immutable is to already be dead. To be lifeless as stone, formless as water, as ephemeral as air. So if you are not living and growing and then eventually arriving at an ending, you're basically already dead. You are a rock, or a stone, or a river. So, in order to balance the cycle of growth and decay, Sun and Moon had a daughter of first flame, a new deity to bring illumination, to bring summer's warmth, to breathe life into plants and animals, to give energy, to represent the dawning of a new day and the creation of new things. In her shadow, and yes, Ramil knows about this, he talks about in her shadow was born the winter's crown, the goddess of ice and snow, she who represents inevitable endings, the stagnation and decay that takes things, the pause in growing, and knowing when to rest, natural periods of stasis, pause, paucity.
Okay. So Chelone is Fornaxia's opposite. Okay. Equal and opposite, excuse me.
No, he's very, very, they're very explicit about that one, yeah.
Okay.
And you would guess that she is explicitly Fornaxia's opposite because Ramil describes it as, directly that Fornaxia is younger daughter of Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Ramil then goes on to explain that, however, once upon a time, there were things that existed in the vastness from before the gods ordered creation. The kind of legend is that, everything was chaos and formlessness. And then, that eventually became light. That was Hydrus, the one of many forms, and, so on and so forth. So, he describes that the act of making the fundament and firmament, creating astral and umbral, they worked in opposition and concert, but allowed great forces to flow. The world was always made of the metaphysical concepts that would become the 9 elements, including fire. But, as the gods, gave names, forms, shapes to things, there were things that were unyet named, unyet shaped. So in order for the daughter of Sun and Moon to claim her throne of summer and crown of flame, she had to subdue, Ramil uses the phrase, a great eidolon of flame, a primordial one, which, Inos, you understand from Nicola's shenanigans.
What I do?
Which speaking of retconning, I don't actually remember if Nicola made a elemental of flame or took it back or not.
I remember he took it back because it was going to be bad on boats.
Yeah,
It sets things on fire.
took that one back. It's water.
All right, we decided to go for water. Okay,
Yeah,
as his secondary. But yes, so Ramil describes, there once was a great primordial one of fire, maybe the first elemental fire, a chaos from before the seasons, who had breathed since heaven and earth were split, the ever burning.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
What?
Nothing. Just keep going.
Okay. Don't be sorry, be better. Anyway, the ever-burning Eidolon dwelled in a lake of fire in a scorched land. It fought everyone who dared to interfere, though it had no claim to godhood. So, the Mistress of Fire strode forth, flames on her brow, sun and moon in her hand. All very metaphorical. And this is meant to be literally strode forth. She made a great pilgrimage walking, again, allegedly literally carrying sun and moon in her hand. And during this pilgrimage, the beasts of the land were drawn to her heat and light like moths to a flame. The metaphor he uses is very flowery, lion and tiger, hyena, jackal, desert fox, stubborn badger.
Oh my.
Oh my god, there's badger
Things
kids?
which-
That's terrifying.
Things which
Badger.
bite and gnaw, hunt and strike, day and night. Even the humble rat and raging boar. So, glittering with her light and flame, she marched with the animal kind beside her. And some even say that the first men strode with her. Ramil, doesn't know about that one. I can't say about that. But as she walked, she taught. She gave the animals and men who listened to her, Gesundheit, the fires of wisdom, which you can tell Ramil is using capital letters for. The spark of inspiration, the aspect of creation which dwells in flames, whereas the Eidolon embodied only destruction. So, kind of teaching, deep-seated philosophical lessons. Creation and destruction are inexorably linked, and fire is both.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the cool part of the story that Ramil really wants to tell is, the daughter of Sun and Moon came to the lake of fire, which was guarded by gigantes, the true giants, at the four corners. She waded into the lake and fought the primordial flame, which took on many sinister, deadly, and destructive forms. A great serpent, a horned beast, a hunting hound, a great blazing tree, a storm of pure fire. Don't ask Ramil how a burning tree fights anybody. It does it, okay?
It's a
It
Final
just
Fantasy
did-
boss.
Yeah, fire does stuff. But with the
I
aid of her
think this
allies
one's
and
a
the
wild
purifying
boss.
power of flame, she was able to bring the primordial flame to heal and thus assumed the throne of fire. She became not only the guardian of summer, but, the season of growth, but also as the mistress of the sacred flame, she became associated with the concept of the hearth and the crucible. The hearth is Ramil describes it as the hearth is a private space, a sacred space inside your home. It is sheltered from day and night, and assuming you're doing it correctly, it is illuminated. Much like how in the darkest of places, the heart and soul are still lit up. She banished the lake of fire in its place of desert of vast gold dust sprung, a place that was free from day or night, where only truth exists, the nightless desert. And then she gathered sacred oils from the lake and anointed her followers, transforming them from the mighty and noble beasts of yore into her kindred, the Kith. So Ramil explains, you will know the Kith of the desert, for they are marked by their totemic animal, their bestial nature, and also, he points at his own eyes, the glow of fire in their eyes. Every Kith has lambent eyes. They are semi-backlit and have, hues of gold, amber, ruby, etc.
It's a feature.
Yes. So that is, kind of their origin. They were, great. There's a reason why they're all predators. They're all hunting animals who followed the goddess of summer and fire, did battle with a big guy, and they got turned into, cool animal people.
Rad.
And then basically he explains the nomadic part is from her great nightless desert, the Kith went forth to spread, to all corners of creation, spreading her light, the fires of wisdom. They also, not only described her as the mistress of flames, the queen of the desert, but also the throne of summer and the hearth. But he relates to you the concept of the crucible or the furnace, the bringer of inspiration and illumination, to use fire to create, smithing, pottery, glassmaking, cooking, early medicine, etc. Fire is kind of a big deal in everything. Wherever they went, they spread knowledge of stuff like making candles and oil lamps, illuminated manuscripts, pigments and coloration, many forms of metalworking. But not only did they, spread that inspiration, but they kept alive the concept of the fires of wisdom by cataloging new plants, new animals, new materials and techniques, and then spread them amongst themselves and then the other kindred. This is the origin of the body of text we've described before, the Golden Tablet. They basically took all of these sermons and lessons of the Queen of the Desert and put them in an immutable body because gold does not tarnish. It does not change. Hence why gold is usually associated with immortality. If Inos didn't know that the Golden Tablet is not just like the name of a text, but is also literal, he's like, no, yes, there's actually literally we have a Golden Tablet. Actually, the Alchemical College has the tablet now because it's very hard to move around, but
I bet it'd be heavy.
It's, it is located in a temple where the college is now built. And then, in addition to containing all of her, fires of wisdom, the Golden Tablet became the foundational text for Alchemia. The Kith learned of the, balance of the 9 elements and their fundamental forces. They went, far and wide and learned the concept of the celestial houses, the asterisms, the unbound stars, the phases and months of the moon, the great rivers of Aether beneath our feet, etc., etc. All the stuff that makes alchemy work, they put in their big book. And basically, they became nomadic travelers. They spread knowledge, commerce, culture everywhere they went, carrying it like a flame. They have a lot of metaphors. It's like moving a torch. When calamity came, ruin and destruction came to all corners. But as new growth springs after a flame, the Mistress of Flame planned for the future. She selected 29 volunteers to represent her kith, who collected all the culture and knowledge of the clans who'd come before and set out on a pilgrimage to find the sacred lands. The Golden Desert with a lapis oasis and a city of adamantine. They traveled through fire, water, wind, and thunder. They crossed gulfs of earth, of ice, of darkness, and gathered followers along the way. And that's how they came to the Golden Desert of Troikaron. Ramil does say that it is according to their own, their own legends, that the oceans were the harshest trial for them. The vast desert of salt water is like the antithesis of their culture, as associated with fire and walking on land and deserts. They did not really like the ocean. Again, it's different from them, from like how the Iron Demons don't like the ocean. You guys don't like to cross the ocean because that means you are physically separated from, the deep chthonic power of the earth. The Desert Kith don't like it because they are fundamentally land animals, and even if they like to swim, the ocean fucking sucks. You can't drink it. There's nothing to walk on. You can't do the fire thing, etc. And so, like, they, as a culture, the Desert Kith, like, do not like that fucking ocean. I think it's actually like, what is it? Yeah.
Cats
Yeah,
don't like
seasickness.
water?
They take a difficulty 3 on coordination, command, and body rolls whenever they're traveling on water. But Ramiel does say that, they don't, as a culture, they have never feared like cold or frost. Like ice is not the antithesis of them, even if it is a concept which is considered opposite of fire. The desert gets deathly cold at night. But even those of us who have traveled as far as the snowy parts of Troikaron say, a single flame banishes winter's bite. But yeah, then basically, the story from there is Inos can probably guess, but Ramiel will recap it. The 29 who were selected to preserve Fornaxia's knowledge had on their journey and on their destination, amassed their own followers and family, their own kiths. They spread to all corners of the sacred desert. At first, they tried to settle and, lay claim to specific landmarks and territories such as the Adamantine City, the Lapis Oasis, the borders of the Emerald River, the Ocean of Dunes, vast salt flats, the Ruby Cliffs. He rattles off a bunch of landmarks that would be in the Golden Desert. But they were too used to their nomadic ways, so they began to wander back and forth, from landmark to landmark, wellspring to wellspring. Some braved the ocean, to travel with the aid of the boatmen and the griffin riders, and were said to have gone to the deserts of the Lost Continent. But when the Imperials came in their rowed boats and blockaded the island of Keltacy, the Desert Kith basically have not formally traveled by ocean as a large group anymore. After their journey, they solidified their beliefs and code of conduct into the Kith Diktat, the laws of the Kith, which served to solve conflicts between themselves and how to show, how to survive, how to spread wisdom. And they didn't get the Kith Diktat directly from Fornaxia, but they acquired it through their life lessons of, following her. So the Kith Diktat is almost sacred to them. It is a second, foundational text next to the Golden Tablet. And from there, Ramiel will kind of, say, the next phase of our story is how we came to be such allies with the tribe of Gold, which is the originators of House Oro. They basically settled along the coasts and rich river valleys in the region, you guys know as Akunar. They panned gold from the rivers. They used it for trade, and they crafted and negotiated with neighboring clans, which included the Desert Kith. They also, obviously, have always valued gold because gold.
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 And, Ramiel kind of not super smug, but he does kind of confidently fold his arms when he says the part of them being the Kith were the ones who aided Ora the strategist. He was a merchant prince, exiled by his 7 brothers. Each brother was blessed with a single great virtue, courage, intellect, beauty, etc. Oro was blessed with them all, and so they kicked him out into the desert. But it was the Kith of the Golden Sun who aided him after he wandered for 40 days in a desert. They taught him that exile was a pilgrimage. It was actually a crucible, which would form him to be, a better, more devoted person. They taught him the Golden Tablet, their devotions to Fornaxia. They journeyed with him to their most sacred sites. They anointed him in holy oils, and it is said that Oro the strategist had golden lambent eyes just like they did, which allowed him to pierce any lies. Oro then returned to claim his, rightful place as leader of the tribe with an honor guard of Kith warriors who he, rewarded handsomely with gold. And thus, we've been good friends. Now, if you're wondering about the Alchemical College, because that was where the Golden Tablet is stored, that was later. After, helping out Oro, this is where... Oh, sorry. My audio cut out for a second. This is where Nareen the Alchemist, known as the First Alchemist, eldest daughter of Oro, comes in. She went back into the desert, went to the Temple of the First Flame, saw the original Golden Tablet in alchemical ciphers, translated it into what became the foundational text on alchemy, both as a sorcery and as a philosophy. And eventually, they turned that temple into the Alchemical College, a place to study the truth. And if you don't know, by the way, every time I talk about truth, I write it with a capital T and also with brackets. That means D1 rolls, but truth.
Rolling for
Bit of
that
high
truth.
quality.
And yeah, okay, here's the part of the text I was thinking about. Because you asked Paz about this. This is where in my notes I said that Nareen was said to be, have studied under the torchbearer who walked all corners of Troycaron.
Okay.
And was an ally to Gridarvol the Wise, first head of the White Wardens. So, Nareen was sorry, I almost said loosely tight, but was metaphysically tight with the House of the Torchbearer. Because, Ramiel doesn't know if there was any particular relationship between any of the ancient Kith and Logi Torchbearer himself, And you guys don't really have any remarkings if Logi Torchbearer kept up any long distance correspondent with the Desert Kith, but Ramil would be like, that thing where he's said to have journeyed to all corners of the realm and studied knowledge. I don't know, man. That kind of sounds like our thing. That kind of sounds like the Fires of Wisdom. Almost like he was also deeply entrenched with the worship of Pharnaxia. Actually, yes. No, he would mention this. Sorry, I've got an extra paragraph, and I'm thinking about. Yeah, no. Ramil would probably end it by posing to you that the current situation of the Kith is basically that they talk about 3 riddles. The first riddle was Oro's Crucible, the translation of the Golden Tablet, and then the creation of the Alchemical College. The second riddle has to do with the Adamantine City, the City of the Dead that Inos mentioned. And it says that one banning flames will cross the 7 gates. They will break the walls of iron which encircle the world, and they will bring forth new anointed. That is where the fires of wisdom will flow. And then the last one is still somewhere in the distant future. They say that a great anointed one will appear and teach the third riddle, which we do not yet know, which will open the golden path to the nightless desert. Once knowledge has reached every corner of the world, everyone will be free of the burden of suffering and enter the earthly paradise. Allegedly. I do not know if that is supposed to be literal or metaphorical. The nightless desert is supposed to lie on the other side and be, a vast desert painted in all the colors of flames, but at its heart there's a great oasis beneath mountains of adamant and gold. It's supposed to be pretty cool.
Pretty cool indeed.
And now I'm gonna fucking copy this because this was a box text. And I'll post it in
Really?
houses.
Yeah.
You could have seen that coming.
Nah, someone bearing flame, like some sort of torchbearer, maybe?
Well, I will say, to remind you guys, if you're thinking about the literal bearing of flame, one of the reasons why you guys wanted to go to Keltacy, like all the way in the way back, is that Logi's answering machine message mentioned the sword will get its fire back if you go there, because that's if you basically reconnect Flambert with Pharnaxia in her ancient-most temples deep in the desert. You'll have sword with fire, which means you will once again be the torchbearer.
Yes.
I would like my fire sword to go when I go fight the fucking Lady of Thorns, but that's it.
Well, I think you guys are going to do that first, because so far, Lucky and the others are kind of like, maybe we don't try and solve a prophecy before the end of the year. we'll just eliminate the Ivory Raiders and call that our big good deed for the Fog Veil, because you guys are already like halfway through the calendar year.
Yeah.
All right. But
Yes, I posted this under Desert Kith, but let me rechange the heading. 6, yeah.
I have thoughts about this. Konrad doesn't know shit yet, but yeah.
That's okay. I will just say, for the simplicity, as I have added this to the house's document under Origins of the Desert Kith, Aurelia feverishly takes notes, even if Inos isn't.
I don't know if Inos brought anything to write with. Do I need to just keep a collection of journals on me? I might.
Journals are cool.
Journals are cool.
Just get a journal and awaken it to always take notes.
I think that'd be Automata, actually, from summoning.
Yeah, if you could hypothetically awaken a journal, but that would just mean that it like journaled better. Like it would be, easy to write in. It would, keep your writing longer. It would be harder to destroy. It's not actually sentient.
Yeah, no. Automata though, I think was all like journal. Write down what he says. He'd be like, okay, boss.
Yeah, basically you would command, probably not even to the journal, but a pen to be like, you, pen, I give you a name. Your name is Pen. Write for me.
Your name is Pen Pen.
Your name is Pen Pen, and you work for me.
Oh,
You'll work for this newspaper now.
yes.
That's a weird ass Lalafell name.
Anyway, you got a big old lore dump that you can review at your leisure.
I will review at my pleasure. Enos will take note of something they said of alchemical ciphers. What is that?
Oh yeah, and then Remiel will explain it to you. Alchemia is the original tablet was written in a cipher that conceals its knowledge. It needs to be sought by those that know, and so the Alchemical College keeps it alive.
Oh,
He can give you some examples.
yes.
Sorry.
Enos would
Sorry
love
for
to
my
learn,
random screen.
get a starter level of alchemical ciphers.
Just when I thought it was safe to open my windows to have some air, a fucking hornet comes flying in.
Not just a fly, a fucking hornet. It's all like, I've leveled up, bitch.
Yeah,
Not safe at all. Very
I came
unsafe.
back.
I think it's fucking screens.
Reminds me of that
I really
on
should.
Ruben Rector's the Gator Boy things where that moth flies in for one of the players. Oh, creature of the night! Ah!
Omega, can I take 1 point in alchemical ciphers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remiel and Paz can run it to you.
Cool.
Aurelia is also interested, but that seems mostly just because that would let her, as we discussed, send notes to Paz that other people can't read. Because unfortunately, I know you've talked about teaching her some penitent sign. You can't penitent sign in a letter. It is
It's
a
true.
sign language. It is only visual. It's nonverbal, so you don't have to speak it, which is very stealthy. But you can't write it down.
It would be
Enos might
hard
pick this.
and not efficient.
Yeah.
No, but yes. Well, we have some time. Enos might pop in with Paz and Remiel a few more times and see if he can learn a bit more then. Because I like having secret languages. Alright. But I guess
Basically, I think I think this conversation kind of formalizes what your itinerary in Akunar is going to be. Obviously, you're going to go to Marquette because you're going to visit Akunar, and Baron Oro is going to receive you as his guest because that's how he is. You've shown him such wonderful hospitality. He has to absolutely show you such wonderful hospitality back. It is required.
hospitality contest. Let's go.
But you're going to go to the Alchemical College, and you're going to see if you can dig up any more, knowledge of ancient fire stuff there. Maybe see if you can dig up some records. You could see if Noreen, left anything in the deep, dark depths about what she knew about, the fire dancers. Because it seemed like there'd be some sort of relationship there. She was a contemporary with Gridarvol the Wise and the like. Also, that's probably where you'll find the notes you need to get to whatever additional, temple or sacred site is important for Flamebert.
Yep.
And then you gotta go deep in the desert. The necropolis, the adamantine city.
Also, I gotta try to figure out if the Dean of Fire is actually a dragon or not. That one's gonna be fun.
Konrad's going to learn the guitar.
That is also very important.
And you may or may not run into some a group of desert kith who might, smoke hashish and kill people.
Oh, god damn it!
Oh shit, are they? Yeah, let's go.
I mean, they're called Black Moon, and they did mention they had a lone mountain.
Oh, you're right. You did. It did not click until you said that. Right.
It's not an old man of the mountain, though. I'll tell you my special. Just because I think it's funnier for Iron Demon stuff going on. The leader of the Kith Black Moon is known as the Prince of the Mountain.
Interesting.
Which Enos goes, huh? Weird. You guys use that word. Where'd you pick that one up?
No, I'm excited. Now I'm doubly excited for this.
No,
They make
honestly,
so many
it's,
bad mummy jokes.
oh, yeah, I listen. I love him. I fucking love the Mummy. Shit, should we
Yes.
watch the Mummy next weekend?
Ooh, we should watch the Mummy last weekend. Let's.
Yes, we
Let's watch the
should.
Mummy. Love the Mummy.
We could just do all three back like week to week.
We do not need to do Tomb of the
All I
Dragon
can
Emperor.
say is that my points in animal handling will finally come in use when we have to handle those damn camels.
Absolutely, yes. Camels are. Ooh.
Oh god, I only got one
creatures.
to ride. Are you sure I can't bring Onyx? Ah,
I mean, you can, but isn't he a big old war horse?
he has a
Yeah,
big
no. Onyx will die. Like I'm not
Oh,
even
my
kidding.
horse.
I
like
don't know if
his
he'll
horse.
die, but he will not have a good time on sand dunes.
Do you remember
no,
the
'cause it was-
never-ending
No.
story?
While I have animal handling, I do not have. I have 1 point in ride. So that's
I only
the
have
other
one in ride.
problem.
I have 3 points because my
Enos
life.
rides the camel, and Konrad directs it.
What skill is rad based on? Please not
Coordination.
command.
Coordination plus ride.
Oh, sweet. I have a good amount of dice in rad then.
Ugh,
I
I'm slightly concerned now.
have 4 dice in rad.
Listen, you've got
Not great.
6. Well, not
Not a
exactly.
great-
You've got 4 to 5 months to start practicing your riding.
Yeah. But no, the reason I said it would hurt Onyx is because horses have to drink a fuck ton of water
You are correct.
in the desert. That's why a lot of British soldiers, when they tried to invade the desert the first time, they brought their horses and their horses all fucking died.
Well, and also specifically, there are desert breeds of horse.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
We don't really talk about the back end of horse breeding, but like there are Aquinar has local varieties of horse which are lightweight, small, bred for stamina.
Yes. No. I think Onyx is a Norlish warhorse, so that would be bad.
Yeah, he's of Chevelle.
I think he's a yeah,
he's a
you
Cheval-
got him from Cheval. He's a big old destrier, you know,
Yeah.
a
He's a
classic
big-
Cheval warhorse, supposed to haul around,
So
you know.
he's like 5
armored
gallons
chevaliers.
of water.
Okay. Well, Onyx will have to stay home, I guess. Maybe I can have someone let him run around somewhere. He's gonna need space to be free.
I mean, at the very least, I don't think you're taking either of the dowager Marchionesses around. Lady Cressida or Lady Maja could probably let him out, you know. Maybe have
Right.
Lady Cressida keep him in the countryside at Tharfield.
I can ride my zombie bear.
It will die.
Please no.
No, well, it will not die.
It's not.
I
necessarily-
tell you.
It's not.
Well, it's not a zombie bear, it's a homunculus bear, but
It's a
also it
homunculus
does still,
bear.
I think,
It's a
need the normal amount of food and water for a bear. I'm pretty sure you based
Does
it
it?
on a Norlish brown bear, so I don't know how it's going to
Oh.
like the desert.
I didn't know it needed.
Bless
food.
you.
My bad. In that case, no.
I do believe it does say it. It's not magically sustained. You just magically cloned it. It's still like alive.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we invent the Doom buggy?
I mean, you did. You guys have gone back and forth on getting Nicola to invent the steam turbine engine.
I'm still working on that because
You might be able to do
was
it.
Told to by my boss.
I mean, honestly, what actually, if you want to like invent, you know, the great method of desert travel is, you should see if Aramita knows anything about horse anatomy. Maybe have her study, you know, and do some sketches of Onyx. Have her build an automaton horse and then cast Eidolon Machina and get a fucking robot horse.
I
I mean, that would work also as a good prototype for the big the.
yeah, but
I'm
if I
blanking
make
on
that
the
out of
thing.
metal, it's gonna get hot in the desert.
Oh my god!
What I'm saying is, it would be also a good thing for the
Real.
prototype for the
your,
big
your
track
groin
pro-
would melt.
Why am I blinking? I mean, it's why you have to put like covers on it, but like, I'm
No,
trying.
there's no.
No, like
I mean, you would make it out of resistant materials, but no, metals are usually very good thermoconductors
Ultra.
for a reason. You would have to like.
That's what I was thinking.
Hover.
It also could work as a prototype for the great quad trump board.
That's true. You guys still want to do that at some point, I think. You've discussed that fun, but yeah, no. An automaton horse would probably be the way to go, but no, you guys can just ride camels.
no, we'll ride camels. I get spit on though. I'm eating that camel.
What about an automaton? What about
You
an
can get after
automaton
these
horse?
is over.
Wah, 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 wah.
Do you know Lahi?
Fuck.
It's like it's not gonna be the same as Max, but it's gonna be pretty close. Steak and new books does not fear legionnaires. No, what? How'd the line go?
No, it's legionnaires are not afraid of dinner. Dinner is afraid of legionnaires. Yes. I mean, listen. If you want to actually do steak and new boots, you could import a Varanus,
What's a
a
Varanus?
lizard beast from Lagartia. They have giant monitor lizards they use as pack animals there.
That sounds amazing.
They are probably about as stubborn as a camel.
Are they desert resistant?
I mean, Lagartia has a lot of water, but it is hot there, so maybe. I'd have to double check their stats. I think they got a good body score.
We'll see. Anyway, Inos will continue talking about alchemical ciphers and, the to-do list at Akanar and, confer with Aurelia. Like, Aurelia, we're going to have to go to this, to this super secret kit place in this super secret Temple of the Dead. And Aurelia's just going to be like, yes.
Yeah, Aurelia, puts a hand on her chin and just kind of nods, and it's like, yeah, that seems like a place we're going to have to go. And we're going to have to drag Leslok, too.
Yes.
I want to go there. You're not dragging.
Oh, no.
Taking you.
I mean,
no, we're going to drag you because we're going to want to go faster.
You're going to need to
Well, maybe to there, but
Nicola
also,
there.
I don't actually know if, let's phrase it this way. Leslok would want to go to the City of the Dead and explore cool ruins. He is absolutely wants to be an adventurer archaeologist. Should Leslok drag his entire, follower train and maybe his fiance that you're planning on spending time all the way down to a spooky City of the Dead?
No,
Maybe
I'll
not.
probably do it anyway.
Well, like I said, Aurelia and Inos are conspiring that you definitely are because they're like,
I hate
yeah,
it here.
those guys are gonna come. We might have to, trick Konrad. We have to tell him there's something to fight there.
Oh,
There
no,
might be
Konrad-
something to fight there,
Konrad's
actually.
excited to go down there. Because there's other places we're going to probably go along the way.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure the only one in the party who's not enthusiastic is Nicola.
Maybe Logesh. I don't know. They just want to go to halfway across the world.
You don't want to go to the alchemical college?
No, the Hominoptera place.
Well, you can't go to one without the other.
I hate it here.
Suck it up. I pay you.
Not enough, clearly.
Even though
Thankfully-
Nicola, well, actually, no. I was gonna make a joke about Nicola being one of the most wealthiest, but actually, he's that wealthy because he pays himself.
Yes, no. My wealth has very little to do with my position.
Your position does probably guarantee you a floor of wealth that, so long as Leslok makes sure to sign your checks. That said, Dallas did say he probably has to go at 9.
But yeah, no,
We can probably because I think both of our next scenes after this is going to be it's going to be Nicola and Konrad, and then Nicola doing the other thing. I think
then,
you
I
said
guess,
earlier
yeah.
when you're going to do that after.
I'll probably do the fairy thing next time, just because.
we might have time.
We'll see what
My
happens with
brain
the
is
spar. We'll see.
melting.
Yeah, but no, Inos
We
is
did have a
done,
lot
right?
of exposition.
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention to Inos that, yes, when you talk about like alchemical ciphers and formula, Paz does kind of get back on it, which is the thing she was also discussing with Aurelia is since you brought up the pyromancy with Nicola earlier, is like she feels like she's really close to like an independent breakthrough, like separate from like discovering ancient lore, is like just need to find the right like mixture of like material component ingredients and like, formula gestures. And like she thinks she might be able to do something, whether it'll be like, just like, start a fire without flint and steel, or like maybe like hurl fistfuls of flame.
Yeah.
She's not sure, but she's like, we're working on something.
Flint and steel.
Like in the grand school of secret sorcery, she's still talking about, basic unattuned shit, but she's like, there's definitely something flashier to this, and I've almost figured out, the math that makes this work. Because this is what her and Nicola powwowed about last time when he went to go, check on her and talk about nerd stuff. So she's like, we're getting real close.
Real close. Okay.
All right, but means I think we can go. Actually, wait. Sorry, we had a whole exposition conversation. I was going to say something earlier, right? Because I thought about this during the break. Leslok was wondering if Narissa was busy. Actually, I thought about this, and yes, because her cavalier was number 2, and there was a lot of other members of the royal household in the fencing tournament too. I think they would probably also have a little celebratory night with Dame Rosenrot and maybe not the 2 princes. That one's kind of weird, but Dame Amalia, stuff like that.
Very weird.
So that was a thinking thought that I had earlier, and I'm like, wait a minute. Let me make sure to bring it up, get it on the record. Now then, probably after a nice dinner, let us at least knock it out of the way, because I didn't really intend for this session to be, just the last day of the tournament week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, just the spar out in the practice yard. You there, Dallas? Dallas.
I think he's dead.
Might be dead.
What's up? Sorry. Oh,
We're at our
Dallas
spar.
Dallas is so
Yes.
funny when he does that.
oh sorry. Brain is. Ugh. But yes, no.
I mean, if it is that bad, we could like retroactively maybe do
no.
that session. Okay. Making sure.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just need to clear my brain.
He just needed to get it back.
Anyway, but yeah, no. Nicola will prepare for the spar. He's probably wearing the same thing he wore to fight Ainara, just because that's more traditional gear that he would wear. So just the same silvery white silk robes, like longer, like not what the fuck am I thinking? Like longer trousers, and he will just be waiting for Konrad in the. I assume he wanted to spar at the sparring range or like the practice range.
Yeah, our practice range at Stone Earth.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all right.
all right, brother or cousin.
Brother!
Hey, brother. No,
It's just the 2 of us then.
I assume so. I think Logesh mentioned he had other matters to attend to. Oh, no, wait,
Oh,
you
he-
would know that. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, that's fine. So Conrad would be just stripped down to his waist.
Yeah.
Probably maybe put some cloth around his fists.
Yeah.
All right.
Neil would probably have a slight, like, leather padding brace around his arm, but not as armor, as, like, preventing it from being hard metal punching.
That's
Like,
fine.
I'm trying to logistically figure that out.
All right.
All right, so
Let's go.
all right. I believe we kind of mentioned yesterday how this would go.
Yeah, we're just
Right.
gonna do 3 rounds of some rolls, so
Yeah.
and that'll be it. So starting
Yes,
off.
I will do a little bit of adjudicating. I mean, probably a person who would show up for that sort of stuff if you're not going to ref yourself would be Moira. She is your fencing master. Which one of you has the lowest sense?
Hey.
Yes, knowing.
Hey.
So Nicola, you declare first.
Yeah. I would just probably start out with. No, I don't want to say simple because I'm never going to not take Konrad seriously because he's like a freak. No offense, like.
Because you're not a freak. I think you're taller than Conrad.
Yeah, but you can like
I know. I'm
bench
just
press
saying,
a
like,
cow.
it's not.
I have a decent body, but I don't have like you're what body
Thinking
5?
of a
Are you body 5 or body 4?
Lethero clip.
By 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Anyway.
talking. I'll start pretty basic. Medium chop. Medium chop.
Well,
Not
no, I
basic-
was just
not
thinking.
basic. Serious punch.
What my basic is like I'm only using primarily
Can you
like
throw one?
one fighting style. Primarily, probably Kumata. Yep, that's about my
Indeed,
rolling.
words you said.
Hakuna Matata.
That means no worries for the rest of your days.
All right. So that's what you're like kicking and stuff with.
Yeah, just like mostly kicking. A lot of like not dodging is the right word, but it's more like it's not like dodging out of the way. It's like dodging
Yeah. I
into the fight.
So let's see which. All right. So I will respond with attack of my own.
I think I got 2 sevens total.
Yeah.
Wait a little bit on that, but it's fine.
Yep, my bad.
4. So I'm at 8 with that. And yeah, I'll activate gut shot or low blow.
Ow, my groin.
No, it's actually not an actual low blow. It's like a body shot.
Ow, my kidney.
Oh well, that does not work. So, but I still
We
both got sevens.
clash. We clash. Fucking anime ass.
It's both torso, so that's a body blow. I assume you guys are just doing, width and shock.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm not activating any of my. I don't think I have any stuff to do.
Once
Anything
upon a time,
else.
you had Thunder Fist, but I think you might have cut that.
Yeah, I did because I'm like, why the hell would I have this?
Oh, come on, Nicola, you can do better than that. Or are you holding back? Because there's no Marins here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I could
You
never
see?
hold back against you. All right. In that case, I will strike and parry as my next action.
Okay. I will do the same thing as in response.
Fair.
As in the same thing I did last.
Oh,
round.
okay.
One attack,
Gotcha.
low blow.
Okay.
Going right for the solar plexus.
Yep.
All right.
It's more so because I'm expecting Nicola to try and grapple them more than anything. So.
Well, I'm waiting for something.
And
I
that's
want
fine.
to see if I can. He wants to see if he could do something first because he's frustrated it didn't work. Oh, for the love of God! All right. Okay, that's not awful.
That's still 3 5s.
You get 10s if you're sitting, or 3
It's
5s.
5s and 10s. Well, I would assume it'd be parries at 5s.
You probably want the 10s for parry, yeah. Well,
Technically,
Depends
you
on
don't have to
how-
attack it yet,
it depends on what set Comrade gets, because that's actually how we do resolve. So you might want the 10s for parry because they're good, but you might need the width.
so.
Well, it didn't matter.
I don't think you're quite quick enough.
No!
Or 8
Punch! King punch!
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's just a palm strike right to the solar plexus.
Okay, in that case, on activation, on resolving of hit, I will activate. Oh my god, the hell is this thing called?
Is it the bear's jaws?
Yeah.
That do.
I believe I get to make a
Do
grapple
it.
attack against you.
I don't believe you get to with low blow.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me read.
Let me read. That's what I'm trying.
Because Bear's Jaws is one of those weird moves because it's like you sacrifice future shit, but I don't know how that will interact. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let me load it up. So it is bear wrestling first. Highest level technique. If an opponent attacks you and inflicts 1 point of damage while resolving, you may choose to forgo all your remaining actions or maneuvers. Immediately roll coordination plus grapple. If you make a successful set, you inflict with +1 shock to that arm. And then you get a +1d bonus on some stuff. Let's see then with
The low blow
pugilism.
is, if successful, the opponent only takes 1 shock damage, but loses a die from all attack and parry sets, and any sets used for maneuvers which use grappling.
So I think he can still use Bear's Jaws because it is a level 5. He can still attempt the roll, but he's gonna lose a die from the set because he's been low blowed this round.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, also actually hit, isn't it?
No. If he uses Bear's Jaws, all those sets he just rolled, he throws those away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how Bear's Jaws works. Is you discard all remaining actions and options to go. Well, guess what? You've activated my trap card, Bear's Jaws. I wanted
grab.
you to hit me so that I could get your hand. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Damn.
Marksman spite.
Or to reference that Lythera clip I talked about before, don't jump, Dion!
Yeah.
The anti-air
Zangief air grabs him. Zangief air grabs him.
Funny enough.
Don't stay on the ground.
I do hit on 5s the arm.
Okay.
So I believe I do 1 with and shock, and I have you in a grapple, right?
No. You don't get the grapple effect. It's you
Oh,
lose
right.
a die, so you only have 2 5s. But you do with +1 and shock to that arm.
Yeah.
Which ignores 3 points of AR, even if Konrad is padded. You get a +1d on your next attempt to do a grappling maneuver.
Okay. And at this, Nicola will say, "Well, my fascination with the Marin clan cannot be denied. I will always, first and foremost, be a member of this house."
I've
And
seen you wearing their colors.
He's gonna
In
point
the
there.
next round.
You know, How would Nicola say it? Would he just say that? Yeah, of course he would. No, he will just say what he's gonna say.
Oh no. Guys, it's fight time.
Look, this is a man who had directly asked Agave Chaval if she was dating the prince. I don't know how to not say things.
Well, we can either do the last round of rolls, or you can say your piece, whichever one you want to do first.
We'll do the last round of rolls because it'll be funnier if I say it afterwards.
Okay.
I'm going to just attempt to grapple.
Okay.
Which maneuver?
Um,
Because you could do
Hold on.
grapple to like stop him from hitting you, like to grab his arms. That might technically be restrained, which I did actually double check that
Yeah,
it is.
I'm
You
going to-
automatically restrain that arm. So right now, Konrad, your arm is grabbed. Well, your right arm.
I am going to attempt to restrain. Because I assume. Oh, wait, is restrain and pin or those are two different maneuvers?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to pin.
Restrain is instead of a full body pin, you just hold a friend's arms so they can't do that. So yeah, you
No, yeah, I'm going
would
to
form
attempt
gobble
to pin.
dice against any future attacks that the Konrad did with that arm, but he already punched you. So
Yeah. No, I'm going to attempt to pin.
all right, you do get a +1 on this because I think that is one of the maneuvers I just listed in Bear's Jaws.
Yes.
Yes. So Konrad, what is
Alright.
your move?
Haymaker.
No,
Big
fair enough.
punch.
Which is a called shot to the head that will act as a trip maneuver instead.
Yeah, basically, I'll place it as well. Haymaker, powerful hook punch. It's just like a trip, but you call a shot to the head instead of the legs, and then the result of the trip is you get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Fuck! Damn it! He said what I was thinking.
And this, and you don't
That's my
have the
secret
you don't
love. I
have
was
the master
also
die
thinking
or
that.
expert die in what was it? Weapon pugilism,
In unarmed.
unarmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're making the called shot, it's remove a die and then set another die to 10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I am pretty sure Konrad is pretty good at unarmed, though.
You probably.
I have I'm an expert dice.
Ah, okay. You have an expert dice in unarmed.
Yeah.
All right,
Me and
perfect.
Konrad have the same level of unarmed, I think.
No, you have.
And if you don't know what trip
you have
does,
one more. You have one more because you're rolling.
Right. Okay, I have one more.
and
but...
also I do want to be very important. Weapon grapple is not weapon unarmed. They are actually two separate skill pools,
Yes.
even if they're
No,
both coordination.
This is actually a different pool, so I don't have an expert dice in this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so trip is if you get a 2x success, you do no damage, but your opponent loses a die from a set and has a 1d penalty to the next round. If you get 3x, everything but also the target is downed.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I don't think
So
it's gonna be an
Konrad
extra
gets
width.
the swing on me first. Nope.
Yeah,
I just got
Yeah, so
sixes.
2 10s. You deal 1 shock to the head, regardless of other success. And so, Konrad, you don't actually bring down Nicola with only a 2 width, but you do stun him real good.
I go, that was an attempt at flirting. I wanted to feel like I belonged to them.
Do you want to belong to them? Because I'm not sure if you do or not.
Nicola will blush red at that and say, I don't think in the same way that we're thinking.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this is a man talking who's just gotten a blow to the head.
Yes.
Well, Konrad will disengage at that
frozen
moment, at that
peas.
point, because it's been 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Moira will like I said, will sidle up. She'll No, I don't think she's not upset at Konrad, so she'll like hand Konrad like a cold rag or towel that's been like in some cold water, and then throw one on Nicola's head. Be like, all right, you've punched each other lots. Even if it hadn't been 3 rounds, I probably would have called it at punching Nicola in the head because that'll ring you good. Nicola, you should probably sit down and drink some water.
Yes, I probably should. Oh.
Moira will gesture to Konrad and be, how's your wrist?
It'll be okay, I think. It's kind of
I'm
shaking
sorry.
that
Shit.
arm out.
Shit, no. Fuck, I know. No, Inos appears at this moment. It's all like, oh, did Konrad hit himself punching Nicola's hot head? Inos,
You'd think that, but no, that was actually he did.
Tried to
She
twist
does a
my
gesture
wrist
for the
off,
bear's
my
jaws.
hand off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Inos says, I like to say Inos only showed up for like the last bit, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he is dramatique.
Yes. It's like what? A whole tournament wasn't enough for you two. You had to keep going.
I mean, I wanted to ask him some questions, and I wanted to make sure he answered them.
Yes.
And I wanted to get at least a fight on one of the people I wanted to fight in the tournament.
Aren't we a bloodthirsty lot?
I'm not bloodthirsty. I want to prove myself against the best.
Oh, I
Like
think
no.
Oh,
Sorry.
Well,
you had your chance to be here.
Get his ass.
I'm partying right now.
Well, what I was asking Nicola is, I'm just making sure that he's not going to up and leave us for another house? Because some of his actions sure seem that way sometimes.
Oh. Inos snaps his fingers. That reminds me. I had a conversation with Lady Marin about Nicola recently.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Nicola stands stock still. I feel like Moira like
character.
Moira like is had like I said, she's got a couple of like towels soaked in cold water, and like hands one to like Konrad to like compress his wrist or something, like maybe puts it to Nicola's temple. When you say that, she just like fully like steps back into the side just in case the message is a bullet. Moira's known Lady Marin for a couple of decades. Okay.
Can that lady ricochet a shot like through the castle?
Oh. Question mark.
I would hope not.
It's Enos, picks up, and then he looks to Nicola, then looks to Konrad, and it's all like, well, I guess I could talk about it now, and hang on, I'm trying to think of what was said at like the very last exchange.
I mean, Nicola admitted some pretty embarrassing things, so
Yeah.
Nicola will actually say, "You might as well say it. I can't embarrass myself more."
Oh, well, then I'll say it straight. Nicola, I'm an Iron Demon, so I can't really claim to know how you do, the courtship of men properly. I kind of wing it, and because, I am not one of men with capital letters, by the way, I usually get away with it. Unfortunately,
I'm not the blood of Hydras.
Unfortunately, you do not have that advantage. Me and Lady Marin had a bit of an accord earlier, and she did confide in me that she is worried about your courtship to her children. While she does not think you mean them ill intent, the way you're going about it is casting how should I say this? Strange look upon the twins. She is feeling that if you persist in your courtship of them in the way that you are, that they will paint her twins in a bad light, and when I wanted to say captain's mass, but that's not it. Fuck.
You hold?
Congress.
No, captain's mass is basically the Navy's judicial fucking
right, the council.
That would require me to be in the Navy.
Yeah. The captain's Congress will not look well upon them. So I'm not entirely sure about what you and Konrad were speaking about, but if it does involve the Marin twins, I do think that you should reconsider what courtship is and reapply yourself.
I see. Well,
because I'm paraphrasing here, but as Lady Marin would put it, you're being a bit of a daft sod.
Moira just illustrates her metaphor. Nicola's courtship style is like a deer trapped in a pottery barn. Do not ask her how she knows what that looks like.
You've seen that.
So,
Nicola's courtship or the deer?
Both.
Nicola begins to judge how high the fall from the sparring from the nearest wall would be.
Wait, no, you're not strong, Nicola.
Bad. Unfortunately, bad. We're talking. You guys are. I think the sparring ground is in the inner bailey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the inside walls are a couple of stories tall.
So not high enough to kill me.
Do you want to push Strawman Nicola off the building?
I want to push real Nicola off the building.
It's for fun yesterday.
No, there's only one Strawman Nicola because
I should be. No, I made Pop at Nicola.
Ah.
He's got the voodoo doll. He's got it just in case.
But
I
it's
see
all,
two
Yeah, the
options.
fun thing is
Let
the
me
puppet
double
could
check
be
on it.
helpful.
I see
can
two
be.
options at this point. Neither of which are very appealing, but I've obviously been going about this in the wrong way to just about everybody. So I can either do research or ask people with experience.
I would say the second one.
I
know.
feel like at this moment Moira just points at Konrad and just says, "Well, he got engaged today."
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that method would work for Nicola. Konrad did kind of just set up an entire tournament week just so he can propose. Well, grandiose,
Hey,
very specific.
A tournament I could have lost.
Oh yes, and then a tournament you did not think you would lose.
I mean, you always wonder
didn't
if
want
you
to.
lose.
Inos says, yes, our conversation the other day. Oh God, how do I say
Listen, I didn't say he should get my advice about it.
No, I understand. Unfortunately,
No, Moira only said it because out of the 4 people currently canonically in this scene, only one of you has succeeded in a formal courtship.
the only two people.
Inos has great tales of romance, but he's also had to work through some stuff. Also, I don't think Nicola can match Enos' style.
No,
Listen, I get
What would
away
you
with
want to?
I get away with this
Right.
very specifically.
I don't think I could match Nicola's style or Enos' style, and also I think if Enos tried his style on the Martin twins, he might get shot
I probably would get shot.
by
yes.
like multiple people.
Yes, probably.
I also think Enos would never be like, I'm never gonna go for both siblings at the same fucking time.
I mean,
Enos is going for three. Is going for
Enos
three
does
women.
possess that greed we've talked about
I was
in the
about to say
Bible,
the greed.
Whoa.
but
Well, I also don't
His
know.
greed
know if
sickens
it's
me.
quite his speed.
Men.
No, but it's like, well, I'm pretty sure there are some formal. Well,
Oh no, I have some people like despite the relatively whirlwind romances of our generation, we do have adults in the castle who I could ask. So I figure I have 3 people I could ask, none of which are very appealing conversations. I could ask Lady Cressida, I could ask Lady Maja, or I could ask my father.
why don't you just ask Lady
how about-
Marin?
Or maybe Conti. I'm sure he knows a thing or two.
That could actually probably do
Or it's
just
just
as.
like
I love Konrad. I
You
love
should-
you.
you should ask Conti. That is also actually is his job is to teach you about stuff. Don't. I was there for that part. Don't ask Lady Cressida. Cressida doesn't have any bloody idea either.
Okay.
I've told you. She met Leofric, at the end of she fell out of a tree and when threatened him with a knife. I do not recommend that for anybody else.
That was after,
No.
that was
I-
after the fact.
Lady Moira, I understand. I was thinking of any reason not to talk to my father. And Conti is another one.
I think Moira just shrugs at that one and she's just like, yeah, I don't know.
It's like, and honestly,
Connor gives you a look around real quick because he realized he just said something bad about Cressida.
I wouldn't look around. I would look up. It's like, is she looking at him on a mirror maybe right now? No, probably not.
Look up at the windows. Uh-oh.
No, fun fact,
She's
I don't
right
think
behind me,
Cressida
isn't she?
actually I don't think Cressida magically stalks anybody other than Leslok and Aurelia.
So
Would Aurelia be here?
Not out of affection for Konrad, but because I'm pretty sure she thinks that Konrad is built different. Constructed alternatively.
Also, she knows she doesn't need to stalk me.
But
So Nicola,
Yes?
I wasn't coming to fight you about any of that stuff. I just don't want you to. Konrad kind of gets all embarrassed and kind of looks around as there are now 2 other people here, or 1 other person.
hello,
I don't
I'm a nosy
want you
bitch.
to- I don't want you to leave my life.
Inos just kind of like goes, huh, and goes to his knees.
Oh, familial love.
Dramatic queen.
Oh, straight to the heart.
Yep, I can be that way. But usually,
I'm
comes
talking.
but usually comes after a fist fight. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
He's got to feel. He's got. To
It's
feel the bruises.
okay. It's okay. I understand that my actions after Uncle's passing were not painting me in the best life. I will not, and I give you my word, on my title as a doctor and everything I own, I will not leave this family.
Ooh.
At least not willingly.
sounds good. Guy that Brandy
Inos gets to assess and he says very seriously, Nicholas Gridarvol, I have seen your oath.
And I found it wanting.
Oaths are a big deal to it.
I do.
But with
And
that,
then
Inos will leave the scene
Okay.
now. Sorry.
And then Konrad will go drink some of that brandy with Nicola.
Oh yeah, no, lots of brandy.
All right.
Also, yes, I did mean it in like not like actual courtship advice, but what the courtship should look like.
Yes.
If you want to ask her about advice, but we were cross talking a lot. But I was going to be like, Moira meant to say that you want to be careful about how you phrase that one because
Yeah.
Yes, no, I would not ask Lady Marin about courtship because
man, I'm trying to think who. Not that Nicola's particularly buddy with any of the like that many of the high houses, but like who would
See,
you ask?
unfortunately,
You don't actually
all of
want to
my
ask Aren
friends-
Oro. That's a terrible idea.
But yeah,
All of
because I'm
my
pretty
friends
sure
are dumb.
I'm pretty sure
all
like
of
the
my
mayor
friends
and
are
the mayor,
dumb
the
nerds.
the East Laws has their own like courtship foibles and whatnot. So
Maybe
Yes, they would
it's,
have their own rituals and
genuine
techniques.
question. Genuine question.
Mhm.
That is, I don't have to. Sorry, I just looked at Woods' chat and it paralyzed me.
We're developing new levels of paranoia. But it's
Sorry,
correct,
my
I think.
brain just-
It's funny it's taken a while, but I think Axe is actually getting to do, even if it's off camera, some of the weird wizard shit he's been planning.
Okay.
I
Not
cast 3
attacking
blinded
that.
myself, so nobody can watch me make out with my girlfriend.
What I wanted to ask was,
I can. I
would
watch it myself.
would
Says
Lady Oro be married? Baron Oro's sister. Not
The Lady Magister is not married, no.
okay. So yeah, no. Literally all of Nicola's teachers are unmarried, and his friends are all young nerds. Actually, is Yvette courting
Yes, no,
anyone?
the
Well, listen. That's why Konrad suggested not researching it.
Yes, no, that is true.
Don't go look in a book.
No.
yeah, I believe the Royal Physician and the Lady Magister are both well-known spinsters. Is
Yes.
the phrase we use.
I knew about the Lady Physician. I just did not know about the Lady Magister.
But no, I'm thinking about like, unfortunately, yeah, Nicola's not close with any of the heads of the high
My-
houses to ask about this sort of shit.
My best hope would be Yvette, or maybe Alias, as long as Agavesh Vol is not within 1,000 feet of us.
Nicola, I have bad news for you.
I know that's the problem. Nicola realizes, God, my friends are all weird.
What are you looking at?
Unfortunately,
want
I
me
think
to-
I don't. The problem is I don't know what Leslok would tell Nicola. It would just be like, I don't know, just correspond with him in a letter for like 3 years, and when Inos suggests to you that the moment is right 3 years into this courtship, spring the question on him.
Leslok would always like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Nicola. I got nothing to tell you. Mine was like somewhat luck, but also perseverance. So I don't think that's gonna help you.
Enos did it for you.
Just
didn't
you gotta just
I
gotta write it out.
forced the situation.
No,
Yeah, that's what I said. Like Leslok's romance is you slowly build it up naturally over the course of, like I said, like 3 years, and then when your relationship Sherpa, when your pocket Inos appears and says, "The moment is right, do it," you do it.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah,
I still remember the bit at the
take this. Hands off the jewel.
I still remember the bit at the Oto Club where it's like literally like Leslok's fucking hiding behind a fucking chair, like a fucking like sofa with Enos talking about it and then going back.
God.
I think Inos literally like shoulder pushed you. Like him.
Yeah. All right, so I gotta talk to Conti about that. Yeah. Well, that turned out exactly how I'd hoped.
You got punched in the head?
Well, no, it was a fist fight followed by an embarrassing and hilarious conversation.
I did, like, when I heard the conversation, I was like, oh man, this would be at a perfect time.
I mean, I think we have established in the course of having awkward conversations, like, you literally, you requested I designed for you Shroud the Soul, so like that we've already set up that there's a precedent that like Enos can just lurk and pop out when a dramatic conversation is happening, which is not technically in private. These guys are in the Inner Bailey.
No, if there was like in a room or something, I probably wouldn't. But it's like, no, this is like after everything. Enos probably come back. He could have came across this. So
Like,
which is
go to
why,
the castle, yeah.
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 I mean, literally, Enos's office is like right over there.
Yeah.
Like in
Like
eyesight, I think it's be like
if Leslok didn't say that he was actually busy, like he probably could be in the Marquess's office and open up his shutters and see the two of them fist fighting. You know, we know he's elsewhere, but it's one of those things of like, no, you guys are right right there in the center of the castle.
I was
Sorry.
like trying, I think, to actually try carousing, like in some form here. But that's another time, or that's already happening.
Sorry, I'm gonna drink some water.
Hydrate.
Okay, all right. I'll ask you because I think that was our last thing for this night, the night of the end of the tournament. Unless anybody else had any extra shit to spring on me. Do you want to as usual, take your time, collect yourself, and do your moment with the Fairy Queen later, Dallas?
Yes, because I want to do this scene correctly, and I've made notes for this, and I just don't want to do it while I feel like I'm about to like fall over.
That's fair. That's fair. If you know you got the scene in plan, we'll do it. All right. Well, let's break on through. Let's see. We've been going for about 3 hours. Do we want to take a short break?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Pause it again. We got to take a brief one. All right. I'll take up and do a bio break, and then we'll get started on the last week. Legume, resume.
Oh God.
Alrighty. So, with that, then we start the final week.
Final day.
The last week of the summer court. Where's my calendar? There it is. Yes, so it is Souls Day. Your Souls Day itinerary, not itinerary, is very light. Basically, you've just said you're going to take a day trip down to Brinton, mostly for Mass at the Cathedral. You know, it is Souls Day, so it is, start of the week, a holy day. So everybody bundles on down there, unless you are explicitly, dodging out.
No, not at all. No.
But the Archbishop delivers, what I think would probably be a pretty normal sermon, quoting from the Book of Summer. He talks a lot about, harmony and what that means, harmony in Troy Corone. And the Covenant states that harmony is caused by the harmony, the balances between the land, the kindred, and the gods. it's not really a transformative, it is a very textbook reading of scripture, but he does, make sure to read a lot of passages which are focused on the aspects of, unity, kinship, and working together, which may be a little different than, say, the last big sermon you heard out of the Pontifex, who is kind of, more like, everybody should stick to their lane. The Archbishop does invite the High King to say a few words as well, since, it's not often you get a High King who is also technically defender of the faith in your cathedral to say some words. So he makes sure to, say a few things. And like I said, I don't got a whole speech paper for him, but he does say a few words, and he specifically says that he is praying for the new generation of leaders, protectors, and thinkers to have what he says is wisdom, courage, and fortitude in the coming days.
Ooh.
So that's that. If you guys did want to catch anything in Brinton, we've talked about this before. Brinton is kind of I won't say a tourist trap, but it is kind of a tourist town. There's obviously the cathedral, which is, very nice and well known. There's a small college attached to the seminary school at the cathedral as one of your, university bases. There are a decent number of social clubs and the like, inns, cabaret clubs, various places where you can go. So, if any of you wanted to get a luncheon after mass out of the way, you could take some time. And there are, mineral baths here.
Awesome.
Probably
The pure mineral waters are also part of the again, not the I don't want to call it a tourist trap, but it's part of the tourism industry. Is, they not only can you bathe in the mineral baths, but also they'll bottle and sell you the purified waters. But excuse me. Within that, we move on. Technically, you gotta. I was gonna make a joke about Monday, not Monday, but actually, isn't it actually? No, it's Vern's Day. That's right. But you got your first day, of the week with the Curia and the Privy Council, kind of bookend. I'm pretty sure you guys don't have anything in your pockets for the Curia or the Privy Council.
No.
I
Nothing.
don't think so.
I can't think of any.
There will be one more before the end of Summer Court. So if there is any actual official kingy business you guys need to run through,
Oh god,
you got one more chance for that.
I should have actually been thinking if there's anything officially we need to bring up.
Well, like I said, you got some time. I don't think we're gonna run all the way through the end of the week before we go.
Okay.
The Raiders.
Yeah, you guys have all. I mean, you hashed out a lot of your stuff very early in the Summer Court. I think intentionally. This is supposed to be kind of your relaxing downbeat week, but
Yeah.
Inos literally rolled to do this to move the one Privy Council moved forward to Fern Day at the end and leave you 3 days in the middle with no Curia Regis and no Privy Council. So
I just remembered I need to go ask teach me sword, but that's probably late next week. That's probably after this is all over anyway.
yeah, you'll have downtime and other stuff, usual stuff. We're gonna get back towards squish time. But then after sermon, the first thing you've got is the hunt.
Yay!
And obviously some of this you guys will have been able to think about ahead of time, but some of you might also be able to consult, then basically there are, I've done my research. There's a couple of different forms of hunting of game in the nearby areas, places one can hunt and fish. So the king of hunting is deer.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got an itchy shoulder. All right. Sorry. Okay. I just scratched my shoulder. Anyway, yes, the king of hunting is deer. There are a decent number of population in the woods and dells near Stonehearth. Best, obviously, is a hart or a buck with 10 tines on their antlers. The buck of 10 points, if you've ever wondered what a 10-point deer actually means. It refers to the number of antler tines.
I just thought it was based about on their size. Which I guess it loosely
I do
is,
think that the
but-
more antler prongs is actually related to the size and maturity of the buck.
Yeah.
Hearts are valued for their hides, meat, and obviously for the antlers as trophies. So they are pretty respectable. There's basically two ways to go about deer hunting in this time period. One is more structured, but also a little more risky than the other. That method is known as par force. If you're doing par force, the huntmaster, which would be the Lady Warden, because that's her job, though as your huntmaster, Lady Gladwin would also assist. But basically, your huntmaster will be accompanied by scent hounds into the hunting area. Look for signs of likely targets. You look around to make sure that there is game in the area. Nothing would be more embarrassing than to take your VIPs on a hunt and have all the game be somewhere else.
I think we talked about something about that before, making sure there was animals to hunt.
Yeah. No, you got, like I said, you got them. There's a few. So yeah, you look for targets. Then at breakfast the day of the huntmaster would relay all their findings to the group, and you basically discuss at breakfast how you do it. Once you've got the schedule planned, the huntmaster or the team of hunters builds relay positions of dogs along the hunting path, and then you track down the hart you're looking for. You chase after it with hounds and horseback. When the hart is out of stamina, when the deer can no longer run, it is considered at bay. It will turn and defend itself. You hold back the dogs, and the most prominent hunter, dismounts to get the kill with spear or sword.
Ooh.
It's very funny, but yes, no. Much like in modern times, medieval and Renaissance hunters believed in sportsmanship. You chase the deer until it stops running. It turns around. You get off the horse, and you go mano a mano.
Shit.
This is also why our discussions of hunting swords are imperative. Then you carefully prepare the carcass. You offer the dog some bites as a reward. This is pretty slow and methodical, and you can only do it probably like a couple of times a day. The other method is known as by bow and stable, and basically in that case, this is much more the kind of hunting you might expect from humans. You use the hounds to drive one deer or even a herd of deer to a single location where hunters are waiting with crossbows or arquebus, and you just bushwhack them. Much better for hunting by volume, but much less, sporting and artisanal.
It's a high king. I don't know if we want him going a mano with a deer.
Well, I will say, obviously, usually it is the most prominent hunter, but it is the kind of thing where he is the high king, so he can delegate. He might, if you guys were personally, riding with his hunting party, he might delegate to Leslok as the host, kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, this is why you have a royal hunt master. You could have, Lady A get off her mount and do it if it's too much of a concern.
Okay. No,
So there's a lot of social maneuvering involved.
I like the artisanal hunting idea.
Yeah. You do have a couple of other, like if you're not necessarily sold on deer, I will run down your alternatives. You got a couple. Your valid large quarries for hunting would be considered bears, boars, and wolves. Boars are hunted because they are actually a pest animal, and as a test of skill, you usually hunt boars basically par force like deer, like you track them, run them down with hounds. Again, just to let you know that like building building temples to Bass Pro Shop are not new. So the way you hunt, the classical way you hunt boar, medievally speaking, is you wound them with spears first, but to show how much of a baller you are, you're supposed to close and finish it off with a knife.
This is why there's so many dead Celtic heroes.
Yeah, no, actually don't do that. That's stupid. Boars are crazy. They are the infantry fighting vehicle of the animal world. Don't do that. That said, it's not the best season for hunting boars. It is more challenging and thus more prestigious to hunt during the boar's mating season, which is in the autumn, because that's when the boars are more aggressive. So, like, you could hunt boar, but it's not quite the perfect season for it. Wolves can be hunted any time of the year if they're seen near livestock or human settlements. And in Norlon specifically, it is considered inauspicious if you have a large population of wolves in any one place, because that might attract wargs.
Wow.
Huh? What? Is that my name right?
Wolf hunting is not necessarily considered noble. It is like a job. It is a like classical method where instead of paying fines in currency, criminals might pay in like wolf pelts or wolf tongues to show that they are contributing to society.
Oh, interesting.
But if you do hunt wolves, usually you use spears, bows, or guns. And in Norlon, you have wolf hounds, which are specifically bred for this purpose.
Yes, Ignis is a very good boy.
Actually, I believe Ignis is an elkhund,
Oh, he's a
which means he's a moose hound.
He's from Egg. That's
Omega.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for Nicola to implement Wolverine's hunting style?
What is that? You just walk naked in the woods and kill them with claws?
No. It's actually very wholesome. Basically, I hunt with no weapons. This would only be deer. I'm not stupid enough to do a boar. And my entire goal would be to be stealthily get as close to the animal as possible without it noticing me, and then booping it on the nose until it runs away.
I mean, you could, yeah, that would be kind of there. That's not the standard, obviously, because we want pelts and meats and stuff. But it could be done. The last of the large game is bears. Bear hunting is very traditional in Norlon. The bear is respected for its strength and stamina. Typically, you hunt bears dismounted with spear, sword, or a ranged weapon. You might be aided by hounds or traps, but it's the kind of thing where you go in there. And bears, again, because of their stamina and toughness, take a lot of damage before going down. So sometimes you hunt bears in full armor, full battle rattle.
Yeah, makes sense.
Pretty sure we had a photo at one point.
Yeah.
Of that.
There's a couple of like exotic game. Obviously, prestigious would be to hunt monstrum, but high summer in Norlon is not really the right season for that. If you really wanted, you could go out of your way to like try and track down maybe an Ackless, a monstrous deer or a bear scarn, but that would require you guys to put some extra effort and would probably turn into a combat encounter, which I don't think we want to do at this time of night.
No, I'm going to try to.
I don't want to potentially expose the king to that much danger. I'm gonna be real.
That's fair.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something kind of cute, I guess. How good is
I would say what was that, sir?
How good is Versa with a gun?
He's never so good with a gun.
If she's not, I'll just teach her. Or I'll start teaching her the basics, I guess.
Last time I remember, she yeeted her spear at something. That's her range.
Yeah, she has martial path for that, so I think she's mostly throw. I will double check.
If not, it's like I just
because obviously these days, the method is there. She's got a 1 in firearms. So
I'm gonna do the cutesy things about that. Just like I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna teach her about shooting anyway. I get it. She knows a little, because what I was gonna say was that it is becoming traditional for cavalrymen to carry a pistol or carbine as like your ranged option, because it is actually a hell of a lot easier to shoot a carbine from horseback than to fucking draw a bow. Like, there's a reason why horseback archery is like a serious martial art. It's because it takes a lot of work.
Usually you have to be like generations of a culture.
You gotta practice. But the other thing I was gonna say was that there are other like exotic game you could get to, but that would require like changing the terrain. Like, you guys could try and hunt mountain lion if you like. That's similar to wolves, but is considered more dangerous because mountain lions are sneakier and faster.
I know the
You know, you can lure them out with bait or snares, track them with hounds. It is preferred to engage mountain lions from a distance rather than up close, because mountain lions outrange you at melee.
Yeah.
And obviously, small game could include hares, ground and waterfowl. You know, you can go fishing with traps, nets, and rods. But it seems like everybody's okay with the deer hunt methodology.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go, whatchamacallit, par force, like we said. So that means that you guys, you know, get up early-ish because you have a breakfast in the field, and, you know, you go out to the field to either a hunting lodge nearby or you know, where a tent's set up, and, you know, you eat a fortifying breakfast while the huntmaster lays it out. Buster, what do you think?
He thinks he wants some of this deer meat. That's what he thinks.
Yeah, that is why they throw the bites to the hounds.
That tracks.
Buster, you're not a hunting hound. Don't even start. Don't even start.
You
Be a master by belief
you just
hard enough.
stare at the deer if you ever saw one.
You're an old boy.
But my lord,
Dog-
my ancestors ran on the plains long ago.
Do dogs dream about being other kind of dogs?
Sorry,
I
this
don't
just
know.
makes me think that this just makes me think. May I have some May I have some loops?
I have some
No
scraps.
eunuch. No honorable eunuch. I fucking love this episode of fucking cat.
Brother, I crave the forbidden lamp, brother. Anyway,
Do not go towards the left. No, sorry.
par force, you guys, like I said, sit up in a tent or a hunting lodge, eat breakfast, you know, all gathered around the maps. And basically, you know, the Lady Warden will lay out, you know, the day before she, you know, went out with the hounds, tracked some large bucks to, you know, certain area which are marked out on your charts. Sorry, I'm just I love the caption on the thumbnail for that Burial Goods video. It fit many loop, brother. Much loop.
Wait, I don't think I posted it. Let me-
But yeah, so you guys, you know, would be walked through. As the hosts, you know, Leslok can be in the royal hunting party, and I think as the actual hunters go, Konrad's probably the best hunter in the team, the player characters anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if Enos actually needs to go with this hunting party. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
You're
if you, I mean,
allowed to
we've
be
talked about this
morning.
before. Inos isn't really a morning boy. We've talked about before with like hunting, you know, waterfowl and stuff. Enos could, if he wants, you know, take a time to stay in. That's what I'm looking for. Sleep in.
What's a stealth?
And you know, the usual thing you do is wait. Estelle will probably, you know, go out to camp, but will not go on the hunt, as it is not her particular skill set. But
It
she will
does kind of
probably, you know, take paintings and the like.
I was about to
just
say,
compel-
it's like I promised Estelle to go take her some nice landscapes. She should go paint.
You could show her some key locations while everybody is out in the field.
Yes, I think I'll do that.
Because, like I said, like Estelle is trained in fencing. She's trained in self-defense. She is though, again, the, you know, Southern Espada style, you know, epee and parrying dagger kind of a thing. So like, she's not really the type to, you know, she knows how to ride. She could ride after it, but she's not going to dismount to fight a deer anyway. So, you know, she would probably stay back, get some painting done.
Also compounds Enos' thing about he does not like the taste of anything about violence in sport.
What?
A reoccurring thing is that Enos does not like the idea of violence as important as a sport.
I don't know if that's
I will say hunting,
hunting.
Like I said, hunting is like it's not like
this
like,
style of hunting is a little, like, there is sport to it. You're sporting about it, but it is still done to the deer is used at the end, right? Like you take the
That's
carcasses, you take the
Yeah.
trophies, and you know the
That's
meat
fair.
is prepared.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's not like they're just gonna kill it and toss the fucking corpse. No, they're
Yeah,
gonna.
like I
not
said,
at
that
that point.
if you guys went down to like I said, hunting, boars or wolves is like those are hunted as like pest animals. That's a little different. Though wild boar can be good eating. You cannot eat wolf.
There's like barely
It is not good
anything
for you.
there.
Do not do
There's
that.
barely anything.
But yeah, like the hunting a hart is like I said, there is sport to it because the humans are like as discussed. You do have by bow and stable. You could just bushwhack them. You could pop out of the trees and be like, they're coming right for us. Blam 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 blam. But the traditional method shall be to hunt par force. So, if you guys are going to be, those of you who want to be riding out, actually, Loth stepped away. I don't know if he'd want to ride out. I don't know if Loth has any, if Logesh has any ride.
He does, but I can't.
We've discussed that Konrad technically doesn't have any ride, but he might be on foot leading the hounds.
I have one rank, but I would probably also be on foot. So
Yeah, Nicola will definitely be on foot because
You
he
can't ride?
likes being. Well, even if I did have ride, Nicola likes being in the woods on foot.
That's fair. That's fair. In addition to, probably observers or members of the major high houses and a couple other people in Leslok's cadre as the host, knowing the land and such not, you are accompanied on the hunt, on horseback, by the way, by Her Majesty the Fairy Queen.
Huh.
Because she knows a few things about hunting. And if you guys were crazy enough to hunt a monstrum, she could, pop in and bail you out. But you're like, nah, we don't like that plan.
yeah,
We are not full of hubris. But I was going to ask earlier if Logesh wanted to go on the hunt, and if Logesh has any ride.
Logesh will go on the hunt, and he has to ride 3.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so
Oh, you remember I do.
Logesh rides along. All right. I probably should make you guys roll to keep up with the hunting party. So those of you who are on horseback, please roll coordination plus ride. Those of you who are on foot, please roll body plus run. Because this is a little bit of athletic activity. You're trying to chase down a deer. They are very well designed to not get caught.
Vintage Story has taught me that, if nothing else.
I'll just sit there with my 2 9s.
All right, Logesh is pretty good on horseback.
I'm like,
Also, yes, no. I mean, that reminds me of
Yeah,
the
what
the
is-
Forgotten
what is
Weapons
it this
firearm
total?
mod, which is like the Matchlock Arquebus is just like, yeah, you probably won't be slaying demons with this, but a properly aimed shot should kill a deer or goat in one hit, which is what it's for.
What did you
Because
want
those
to call
fuckers run.
ride it.
Oh, riding?
Well, you're on foot, so it's body plus run.
Oh, okay.
I'll ride because I can do that.
Well, also, you do want to look cool for Narissa.
2.
Double sixes.
6.
All right, that's a trigger by craving for that. Actually.
I cannot remember. My boots, is that a master die?
Oh shit!
Or,
Yeah, you
or
got 7
Aren.
league boots. Yes, I think that is a master die to run.
Okay. And that is
Pretty sure that's plus MD to run and doubles your jump height.
right. It's 2 9s.
Yeah. Hey, shocker. Since you're wearing your 7 league boots, Konrad, you are probably as fast on foot as these guys are on horseback. At least in a lightly wooded area, chasing after a deer.
Konrad is as surprised about this as anyone else.
But you guys, you keep along with the hunt fairly well. You follow through. The deer eventually is, as we say, brought at bay. So it it's too tired to run anymore. It turns and, lowers its antlers to defend itself. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but as the host, the High King would probably defer. He has the right of first attempt at the kill, but he would defer to Leslok as the host. So unless Leslok wishes to defer to anybody else to try and finish the deer off, well,
I'll do it.
you're gonna have to get off your horse.
Okay.
I assume you're gonna try and engage the deer with sword, not with spear.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead and roll me your sword pool. You can technically apply any techniques that matter to this.
I guess it would just be. I think the only one that really does would be, I think, Master Stroke, where it just makes it a wider set. Would I be using Flameburn on a hunt? Why would I not?
I mean, it is a relic blade, but also it I think I talked about it. The grip of the sword is literally made of deer antler, like the crossguard. Like it's
Let's do it then.
That's another +1 for awakened.
I think it's 3 9s.
Yeah, effectively
Right in
3
the heart.
9s. Yes, by the way, that's with +1 would be 4 killing. That's probably not enough to literally kill a deer in this system, but it's getting late. We're not going to quibble.
Mhm.
You have rolled a good strike zone. You pierce the deer, right through the heart with the blade, and it is taken down. You have killed the heart. Like I said, the deer will be bundled up, brought back to camp, and immediately dressed. All the hounds, get little nibbles. Get some of the fresh cuts of the meat. And the rest of it will probably be turned into lunch.
Lunch.
Wonderful.
And probably, everybody kind of, nods and says, yes, oh, no, fine. Fine example, The High King would probably mention, that he would say something like thinking of turning, like the hide into like probably some fine belts for everybody to, commemorate. That's the word I'm looking for. The hunt.
I just want to say one
And
thing.
obvious. Good.
Fuck you, Lucky. I'm defrosting my mints. Please continue.
But yeah, so if anybody who was on the hunting party wants to jot down, you can probably get a cool new deer hide belt. And, the king would ask if Leslok has any ideas what he would do with the trophy, which is the antlers, and possibly the skull still. You can take them off the skull, but, they start attached.
I keep it at one thing and probably just on a wall. It's like to remember this moment.
A solid conventional answer. I don't recall if you've got any such things, but I do believe that, as they say, the decor of the solo should change with each new occupant. Yes. Kind of kingly pat on the shoulder.
Kingly.
If you guys want, you could run out for, like I said, you can probably get one more par force hunt done today. If you want to hunt another deer, if you want to, give somebody else a crack at it, the honor. Or, like I said, there are other game you could track down. If you want, you can go, fishing with rod, net, or spear. And yes, rod fishing is really old. Also traditionally associated with nobility, because you need a lot of free time to rod fish.
Right down like your
Yep. So what does what does the gang think? Inos has no input. He's off painting.
You know what? I think
Lies.
Logesh
Inos
would be,
is laying in a field of flowers being painted.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
But yes, what were you going to say, Logesh?
Logesh will go for the rod fishing. He just, it's been, a couple of days of just nonstop fighting and like worry, so he will just want to relax today. Hopefully no one will find issue with that.
That seems fair.
Konrad will maybe take any of the group that are interested in hunting waterfowl out for that.
I think that, but I'm not hearing anything. I don't know if he's saying anything or not.
Did you not hear me? I mentioned Konrad.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just.
Okay,
I was like, okay, Dallas muted himself. I was gonna be like, I don't know if that was Dallas trying to be like, Nicola would do that. Yeah. Anybody? Do you want to go? Out for waterfowl? Obviously, Logesh is gonna be out on the rivers and ponds fishing.
I'm enjoying
like
the rains
shooting
down in Africa. Sorry.
Shooting a flying bird, it would be like picturesque. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's what you do. You guys have been waterbird hunting before, but it is the time for it.
shot.
Nicola walks along, puts on his straw hat and chews his piece of his twig. Just out there enjoying nature.
Nature.
But yeah, I think if there's nothing in particular else you guys want to be doing in Hunt Day, we can wrap up and move along there.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
And I can mention what the next day the outdoor luncheon is, because that's pretty short, honestly. You just want to take a whole relaxing day that's outside of the city, but also doesn't involve strenuous physical activity.
Yeah.
Because obviously a hunt is very refreshing, but you do have to, ride and run and stab. So this one, you got a couple of choices. I'll field you. Your original intent was to get a little boating done, so you could raft out on the Felsea, the Lake of Stones, which is at the end of the Rubes. You could go down towards the direction of maybe like Stokeswood or maybe even Jarbridge or Brinton, but it's largest lake in Tyne. And there's a couple of smaller lakes around. The lodge the boys have purchased for the Etoile Club is on a similar smaller lake nearby. But if you want to go actually get a little, like I said, get a little bit of boating done, you can do that. Or a more typical outdoor luncheon would be to pop over to Tharfield Manor and have it in the gardens out there. Both is probably, a couple hours trip at least out there. One does, though, involve water. So, you guys let me know if you want to follow through on, like I said, your original plan was pitched as, a boating venture, but then we kind of, walked around towards like the outdoor luncheon thing. But we got a few different things.
I'm definitely feeling something waterside.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
do a little rafting, get some barges. And then, set up tables to dine either on boat or on shore.
Yes.
This is not a super large social function. It might even be like a little more tighter than even the gala. Mostly the High King and the inner circle, the King's Council, and handful of the appropriate younger generation. Your age-wise, peers and companions. And then, honestly, there's no other way to end it than to make everybody hungry. What exactly you guys are eating at the luncheon is kind of open-ended, but there's a few different things you could go for. Obviously, if you had any leftover material from the hunting, you could cover that. So you might actually have some duck or other water bird left over. If there were any forms of repast that were at the Norland Fair that you liked to make a comeback, you've probably got some leftovers of that.
Oh man, there was a lot of good
Wonderful.
food there. Shit.
Give me.
You know, the pasties,
I feel like maybe
shish kebab.
What was the hot
Pretzels.
sandwich called?
The butty,
The butty. Yes.
the buttered
I was about to
sandwich.
say
Yes.
the crush mash.
No, different continuity.
Yes, but the butter sandwich. That'd probably make a
I think
good.
that
good
kingdom was too
luncheon.
random.
Butt sandwich.
What else? Ooh, let's bring some. Let's see if we can get some fucking of Aurelia's. What did she make? The
Limonade?
lemonade.
It's
I was
like
like,
lemonade.
limeade.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not right. Lemonade.
Not quite. But yeah, no, that's honestly for a nice, like, cool, breezy sort of trip. Yeah, that's probably a good one. Other than that,
Konrad is going to
Good.
bring one other thing, and that's a ball.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Oh, it was done.
well,
I was gonna
hey,
say-
put a
I
pin
was
in that
gonna
one.
say it.
There's a few outdoor sports you can talk about. For food, you might have some. There's a variety of pleasant luncheon, fingery type foods. Savory tart. In real life, it's quiche Lorraine, but that's like French. But a tart filled with cream, eggs, bacon, ham, and onions. You might have vol au vent, a hollowed puff pastry, which you stuff with like chicken, mushrooms, meatballs, etc. A variety of salads, sautéed green beans, sweet treats like fruit tarts and the like. Nothing heavy, but something you can digest well. There'll be some boating. If you want to go swimming, there's gonna be some swimming. If there's some arts, there's some arts. You can get a little of the chamber music from the gala, but definitely not so much the landscape painting. But Princess Estelle is definitely going to try and take some sketches and maybe paint some scenes, by hand or from memory. So like actual, people on the boats, in the tents and tables on the shore, etc. But if you want to do some sporting activities, obviously, you could bring a ball and you could play camp ball, just like you did on the tour in Crown.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be a little rowdy. If you want, you could also play Pall Mall, which is the predecessor to croquet, which involves hitting balls with mallets. You can do what is just called bowls, but it's basically lawn bowling. You got boat deck. You might play some shuffleboard.
Oh shit, shuffleboard.
Throwing games like horseshoes and lawn darts are also possible. I wanted to put a note here. There probably should be a game similar to golf, possibly called Golf with a K.
Oh,
But that does take some time. So you in the evening, your plan is to depart for Drakesboro, which I think is where we're gonna end the session, with you guys setting out for it. So yeah, you probably don't have enough time for a game of golf. But like I said, Pall Mall, bowls, shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Conrad could probably convince some people to play a round of camp ball, but like I said, that might be a little more strenuous than originally planned. I'm sure Nicola plays a mean game of lawn darts.
I bet.
yeah. I think I'd be bad at all these games. I don't really mind being terrible at these.
I mean, no, that's part of the fun. Like this is a quiet, small social gathering. So like if Leslok's not good at bowling or croquet mallet, that's okay.
There's a thanks.
What would Inos be doing?
I mean, I feel like just because of the style, the throwing horseshoes like feels very Enos-y because they're big and iron.
Yeah. Throwing horseshoes. Play a few games of horseshoes. Stare wistfully over the lake.
No, it's a bit. Listen, it's summer. It's a beautiful, clear day. There's no fog, but you've got kind of the cool mountain breeze heads down the river valley, and the lake acts as a big thermal absorber, so the air is very cool.
Throw a line into the lake, not expect to catch anything. I'm just gonna look cool with my fishing line.
Now I'm just even though it's not the right period for it, I'm just imagining Inos in the little sailor outfit, like Barrett. But like I said, yeah, Estelle and anybody else who's more visually oriented might take some like I said, some sketches to paint later. Actually, if you're thinking about stuff he does, I believe Leslok also has some sketch.
I do. I have like.
If you want to take some loose drawings,
I have 3 in drawing.
You can take some drawings as well. I'm just imagining Leslok capturing a moment as the other Logi boys are taking their croquet mallet turns.
I imagine like
somebody accidentally hits somebody else in the shin.
5 different drafts of like those like
divot.
if you say like those like pastel or like I get like pastel like pencil drawing on the walls of like retirement homes like in Florida or something. Like the weirdly like quiet scenic pictures.
No, yeah, like definitely. I like the like kind of gentle pastel themes. I'm actually wondering though, like what's the hold on? I got to do a Google. What's the origin of pastel? Like as an art style, because like that's powdered pigment and binder. So yeah, no, that's actually a medium. Pastels used since the Renaissance. So yeah, no, you would basically have like what you call hard pastels. You would have like a pencil or stick of pastel pigment. So yeah, neat. Do some pastoral pastels. But yeah, like I said, the what you call it, the event winds down, because everybody's got to kind of like return to Stonehearth, pack up to take your Drakesboro trip, to set out in the evening so that you sleep there overnight. You can spend all day and come back, and that'll be where we kick off next time, I think, because we are just under 4 hours of this.
Yeah,
I had a
30 minutes.
Line. I had a funny line I wanted to tell me.
What you got? What's your idea before we're leaving?
Oh, it was a dumb. It's not dumb. I think it was a flighty thing of like, I had in my mind just like, I like when you talk about the treats. I was like, I can think of a sweet retreat, but alas, now is not the time. I cannot think of saying it dramatically, but like, I bet gets it.
Yeah, I get it. Yes, that's you have your amorous plans, but it didn't work out. All right. Okay. We're winding down the session. Everybody, you get 1 XP for showing up. You get 1 XP for being in character. Even, yes, Logesh, because he was in character by hanging out with people. X, Aren, Lucky, wrote extra notes, so you get your extra EXP step.
Yes.
I don't think anybody clocked out any missions for that particular
I did.
moment.
It was gift.
Oh, you did actually? Okay, that's right. That's right. That's correct. I remember you said that last session.
Can Mark have a successful summer court or show? I need to wait till week's over.
No, we're not done.
No, that should continue through the last couple of days. The summer court still has a couple of days left.
I'll wait till week's over.
The day after the feast is done.
I will.
Yeah, I mean that'll probably come up next session because we gotta. I don't know how long you're gonna spend in Drakesboro, but it's supposed to be your nice, relaxing hot springs trip, and then it's basically like you guys go back to home and you do the feast.
Yeah, I will 100% complete my mission next time.
Nice.
100% because it's present my goddamn chance.
All right, soon.
And
we're pretty close to finishing summer court because you just have to have to go through my devilish 12 sinister courses.
No, I need a spell to empty my stomach.
Is there a chemical antacid at some point?
Minor alchemy.
probably
Give me a fucking quick digestive something.
Nom on some charcoal.
Ugh.
You might actually as like an antacid. I mean, like charcoal's technically organic, so
No, it just probably sucks to swallow.
Well, to do powder, I think, at that like
I
used
fair,
for
yeah.
that. So
Yeah, fair mix drink.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there were some classical traditional medicine remedies for that. I mean, definitely, I think like we joked about with minor alchemy, you could brew something up to digest your food a little faster, if only so you can bulk up more. The Swolenator. All right, but that was Rain. We'll be back next week for what? Oh, sorry, excuse me. I burped in the middle of that. What may be the final session of Summer Court. And then, like I said, we move on to the next thing, which is the touring and the Fogvale. I almost said Mark II. That's incorrect. Mark III. Because I've been in the can. I've been in the tank. We're working.
Yeah,
We're
man,
thinking.
I forgot to ask Inos if he was a virgin.
That probably sounds like a sauna question.
That's probably a sauna
I'm
question.
gonna be real with you. That does sound like a sauna question about that thought.
Honestly, yeah.
As a knock-on effect to what happened earlier, I stepped away because I had to go grab my chicken schnitzels and drizzle them with Japanese mayo because fuck you, Lucky, for making me hungry.
Suffer.
Japanese mayo's pretty good.
Well, at least Lucky's getting that smoke this session. I can't say make those promises next time. All right, but that's going to be it for everybody. Thanks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.